Hey, we're here with the season premiere of season 3 of Terra Invicta. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to begin another leg of the adventure known as Terra Invicta. And we have done all the downtime stuff, gone on lots of mini adventures, gotten our characters leveled up a bit, and now it is time to set out onto the open sea. And so this is the thing. Deli and Takewee haven't really gotten a whole lot of information on what is actually happening in this sea voyage. Audryn was really the only one who was told anything until Anna went and like specifically asked Lavinia about stuff. So we're gonna kind of start this with like her kind of mission briefing of this. And some of this will be information you guys have heard before, just because Anna and Audryn know it. But we'll go ahead and start there as she fills you in character.
Okay, are we saying that it's December 4th today?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Chill. And I will go ahead and start with this scene, and then if you guys want to do any goodbyes in the city, we can go to there next. But I think we see a bustling, busy Vanderboren manor. Right? Not only has Lavinia like retained several workers to repair the damage done to the manor during the Bullywug attack in the previous adventure, but as her fortunes have slowly recovered, she's hired a new staff of servants to tend to the manor's need, and Carla is still like her personal assistant and stuff, but when you guys get there, like you guys have maybe been in and out a little bit since you've been doing your adventure stuff, but it seems like today, especially because things are starting to get underway for this voyage, Vanderboren Manor seems more alive than you've ever seen it. Especially the first time you got here, like most of the art's been sold, was sold, and there's one servant, but yeah, now it looks like it's doing a lot better. I mean, the Vanderborens are certainly much better off than they were, thanks in no small part to your guys' help. But we see Lavinia in the main dining room. She's kind of sifting through a bunch of like nautical maps, sea charts, a large journal that you may recognize as the one that you recovered from the family vault in the first adventure. As soon as you guys make your presence known, through a cough order, she seems pretty intent on what she's looking at, but as soon as someone like flags her down or a servant tells her that you're here, she looks up and smiles and invites you to sit. She kind of like still goes through some of the parchments in front of her. But I assume you do so. Cool. So she says, I know that I've already given most of this information to Audryn, and Anna asked me for some details the other day, but I realized I haven't actually told you, Deli, Takewee, what we're going to be doing next here. You've, I'm sure, heard of the preparations I've been making, but I thought it would be good to lay it all out so you can so we're on the same page as to what I'm asking of you next. Do you recall this journal? And she holds it up. We recovered from
the journal again.
We recovered from my family vault, she says. So when you were helping her to get her access to her money the first time, she also found this little journal of her mother's. And she says as much. She says, it turns out it was my mother's. My parents, may God rest their souls, were brave. Foolish and rash, some would say, but I have never been one to criticize an adventurous spirit. On the contrary, and then she smiles at you guys, I admire it. In any event, it would seem that about 4 years ago, my mother and father undertook a risky endeavor. They sailed the Blue Nixie, along with a ship full of colonists, down south and across the Atlantic, to a place they refer to as the Isle of Dread. You may have heard of this place, and anyone now can make a history check if you'd like to see if you have.
Yes, please.
Yeah, feel free. Nope. Anna knows nothing about this place.
Despite having been told about the journey previously, I have no memory of anything.
Yeah. Wait, Isle of Dread, where are we going? Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was called?
Yeah. So
I probably heard the name maybe, but no.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you've probably heard the name Takely because it's in local legends around these parts. But I mean, I think it makes the most sense for Audrin to know about this. He's actually been on the sea in these parts for
it's the
a long
Shoe
life.
Isle, isn't it? That's the Isle of Dread.
No. But Audrin, the main thing you know about it is it's mystical in legends. Like, a lot of people don't think it actually exists, but if it does exist, it's a like mist hidden island out in the Atlantic, covered in jungle, giant monsters of various sort, feral savages, peril at every turn. And Lavinia says as much as she gives you guys a description of this too. You probably know that the Crimson Fleet has tried, at least when you were part of them, has tried finding it and hasn't done so successfully. And the reason why is, at the very least, like, if it does exist, and it seems like Lavinia's or Mother's journal seems to say, yeah, it did exist, and we actually sent colonists there. So it sounds like it does exist. But it sounds like the issue why it's so difficult to get to and find is there's some sort of like magical mist that like, or fog or something that's like surrounding the island, and you have to like use particular magic or know the secret of it to like actually get through it. But so that, that's why the Crimson Fleet has never been able to find the hidden treasures that are supposed to be on this island. With the 19, you probably also know that it's rumored to be the old capital of the Igbaye Empire, the Tiefling Empire that used to span most of West Africa. But it sounds like this island was kind of the glorious capital. And who knows, maybe some magic has moved it in some point in the past and used to be closer. You're not entirely sure where it fits exactly. But Lavinia continues and she says, if you haven't heard of it, it seems apparent from reading my mother's journals that the place is aptly named. A jungle-covered hell, infested with immense reptilian monsters, feral savages, and peril at every turn. Yet, this... listen, I wrote a direction on here wrong. See, yeah, there you go. Yet the Western Peninsula remains relatively sheltered from the menaces on the Isle mainland, and it was here, among the villages of several friendly locals, that my parents founded the colony of Farshore. The Isle of Dread represents an untapped trove of resources. Exotic lumber, spices, animals, foods, and even minerals like silver and gold. Yes, Dali, there will be plenty of animals for you to enjoy.
I probably don't actually say that, but I would perk up at the thought.
Okay, yeah. Once Farshore was up and running, the influx of trade would have guaranteed my family a relatively uncontested flow of wealth. Yet, before my mother and father were able to return to Farshore with supplies and more colonists, my brother made his move and left me in the state that you found me in only a month or so ago. Lavinia then indicates her mother's journal again. Since we recovered this journal, I have not been idle. If Farshore fails, then my parents' last legacy fails. I intend to carry on their work. And I have planned for a journey south to the Isle of Dread to resupply and join the colonists at Farshore for the next several months. I have the Blue Nixie ready in the harbor to take fresh supplies to the colony, and with Audrin's help, we've prepared a second vessel, the Sea Wyvern, for the voyage. And then Lavinia's face breaks into a glowing grin as she continues, and she says, "You wouldn't know of anyone with stout hearts who might happen to be interested in mounting this expedition with me, do you? I fear the journey itself might grow dangerous at times, and there's no way of knowing what state or condition Farshore is currently in. But I suspect...
It's in Nebraska.
But I suspect that danger is a vice you have." So yeah, that's what she says. And in theory, this, at any point you could be like, you know what, Lavinia, this seems too dangerous. We're tired of working for you. Let's just call our professional relationship here. But she's assuming that you'll go along.
You see, Lavinia, we don't actually need you anymore. We're gonna be pig farmers.
Now that you've handed over all this information, we're going ourselves and gonna make a fortune for ourselves.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, actually, you
We've
have
actually been
Audrin
hired
the
by your
ship,
brothers.
so we're gonna take that ship, and you can take your ship, and we'll race you.
Yeah. Ready, set, go.
Actually, about your other ship, dibs.
And Audrin just runs out of the room.
I mean,
Like-
he called dibs. It is.
Yeah, I don't need to
fair.
run anymore. Like it's mine now.
About,
And
about
also-
your,
Great way to start season 3. Caleb's all like giving this emotional speech, and
Betray
we're like,
Lavinia
"Krista."
immediately. Yeah.
yeah, we're actually illusions. We've already left.
Yeah, I think Takeweed just says it would be my honor to make sure that your parents' legacy is secured.
Yeah. And she's still smiling and she says, I thought you might say something like that. So, right, Lavinia is planning on taking her family ship, the Blue Nixie, the one you recovered in the first adventure. And she's already, I mean, she's been in the process basically of like hiring a crew, getting outfittings for supplies and recruiting additional colonists. And this is stuff that Audrin and her have been working on. The amount of supplies she calculates that Farshore needs greatly exceeds the amount she can haul with a single ship, which is why the Sea Wyvern has been brought in. So luckily, you know, the ship was abandoned and you guys managed to pick it up. And so basically she just says to you, like, I see no reason to wait any further. I say we like try to get this going as quickly as possible. There's still final details to figure out, but I've been working with Audrin. Basically, I think Audrin, what she's been doing is she's been picking people for you because you've been adventuring in things. But she wants you to give like a final assessment of like who, like she basically has gotten people to come on the ship, but it's basically up to you to figure out who the final like crew is going to be. There's going to be several people who you can assign as crew members. But it'll be up to you as to who is the crew and then who's just going to be passengers. In theory, they're all going to be, you know, offering services to Farshore or paying their way in some other way to get to Farshore. Like, you know, to be on the voyage in the first place. But you might put them to work as a crew member if you see fit. And you can also put any of the PCs in the crew as well as. But we can get there when we get there. I feel like before we get to that, we should do goodbyes. If you guys have any people you want to say goodbye to, the last loose ends you want to tie up before you guys go to the docks and actually start loading the ship and all that stuff. So, up to you guys.
I have been playing way too much, or I've been watching way too much Let's Game It Out, because my initial reaction is, let's just go by ourselves. Who needs other crew? We can handle it, right? That way we don't...
you need a crew of 7
don't have to worry about
successfully pilot the ship.
Yeah, but you have to pay a crew.
Well, yes.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to pay them.
Well, I mean, it's either they're getting paid or they're wanting to go to Farshore to start a new life, and this is how they're paying their way, is like being a crew member. Like there are various things that like
Right.
Ways that people would be on board the ship and reasons why they'd go and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, Audrin, I assume that at least you are going to talk to like Juno, and say goodbye to him, because I don't think Juno was planning on coming. He'll have a conversation he wants to have with you about what's next for him.
Well, we
after
already
you
had
guys...
that conversation. Yeah.
I don't know if you had.
So I would
what did
talk
you
to
say
Juno.
to him?
Well, because remember we had that conversation because he was wondering what to do next with his life, and then that's before we had.
That was before you had the sword stuff. Yeah,
That's before the sword
Yes.
stuff.
I think there's a last.
In fact, that was on the way back from the sword stuff.
Yeah,
I
think
that was the sword stuff happened on the way back from that conversation.
Yeah. I think the he'll probably want to have a last word with you and kind of tell you what he's going to be doing. And wish you luck and stuff. Well, what about the rest of you? We can figure out how to do this in any order, but I assume Takeway, you're going to say goodbye to Deacon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably him and maybe Muriel
Oh yeah, sure.
if we have
Oh
time.
yeah.
If
Well,
not,
yeah. I
then
mean,
that's
you
it.
can probably we can have a quick scene where you like get your apprentice from, or not
Yeah.
apprentice, but your assistant from Muriel. So
Yeah, sounds good.
I'd go back to the collectors, say bye to Alan, and then try and one last time figure out how to get rid of all this extra bulk. Talk to
Sure.
Madoc in a safe place where I can go wild, and which sounds so weird out of context.
And then Anna, I assume you're gonna say goodbye to Father Valentine and the monks of
Yes.
the order. Yeah. Sounds good. Let's go.
And go recruit Nestor.
Yes, of course. Let's just go ahead and go in stream order here. So let's start with Seth and go all the way down the line here. So Seth, let's start with you. You go to the collectors. Do you have anything in particular you want to say to Alan besides
No,
I'm
not
off?
pretty much. I mean, I think he's pretty like fast and loose with me being here anyway. So like, I don't have anything to say really.
Yeah.
I also have like, hey, I don't have much to say besides,
Hey, I'll be gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
probably take some snacks from their trash.
Sure, yeah.
But no, honestly, I just wanted to like take some time to like, actually maybe, because I told him I met Madoc.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly mechanically did we have Deli actually go to like Madoc's realm?
You did a religion check.
Okay.
You like prayed to him or did a ritual or something.
And maybe I could like ask Alan how like, does you know how I could do that more reliably pretty much?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing he says is, well, you could become a cleric.
Come on, Alan.
I'm just
You and
saying,
I
you
both
asked.
know that's a ridiculous idea.
Oh, yes, you as a cleric. Ridiculous. Devotion, discipline. Haha.
Anyway.
Yeah, he says, well, you know, Madoc, you know, all of us, we're an unpredictable lot. The thing with being the god of chaos is, well, there's not going to be a reliable method to get in contact.
Well, I guess I might as well try then.
Yeah, you could always try praying, or, I mean, if you wanted to, I suppose that I could see if we could find a cleric of Madoc around here somewhere.
Those exist?
Well, yes, of course.
Didn't I
I think we have at
surge
least
last
one
time?
on the roster here, and he like goes and looks at a document.
Didn't I surge to help myself talk with him last time?
Something like that, yeah.
I think I did.
Oh, yes, that would probably work if you just vomit out wild magic. He's always interested in that.
So
He said he's going to try and find a cleric.
Sure, yeah, I mean, he can do that for you. So let's just say that there's, he manages to get, one of the people who are part of the collectors, right? Because it's just most of the people who would be here are like wild magic people of one sort or another. But it makes sense that there maybe be a cleric of Madoc who'd also join.
A wild magic cleric. I'm gonna try and heal you, fireball.
Yeah, I don't think this guy's wild magic, but he shows up and he's just like let's say he's a gnome. So this little gnome waddles in and he's just like, yes, you're looking for a priest of Madoc? Well, look no further.
What's his name?
His name is Indonesian Name Generator. His name is Sriwidadi. Sriwidadi.
He doesn't have a chaos magic, but he has a chaos name.
Yep.
Sriwidadi.
I'm Sriwidadi at your service. Me and Madoc are tight.
okay, well, I was kind of hoping to talk with him because, I don't usually look like this. Usually,
like what?
Quite heavy, this big. My wild magic made me gain weight. Okay, I'm trying to get rid of it.
Oh, sorry. What? I wasn't gonna say anything, but sure. Yes, of course. Well, you could become a cleric. What? Why you give me that look?
I talked to Madoc before. I was in his room, and I talked with him.
Okay. Then why are you asking for me exactly?
Because I don't know how I did it.
Oh, yes. That's the problem with Madoc followers. They pretty much never know how they did anything.
Pretty much.
Well, I suppose I could give you a holy symbol if you think that might work. Maybe attune your thoughts towards him.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, here we go. I got an extra one.
I just imagine it's like a crumpled up piece of paper or something like that. It's a
yeah,
holy
that's a
symbol to a god of chaos.
No, you know what he hands you? He hands you like
It's holy water, but it's always boiling.
he hands you like a little wooden carved trinket, but it's just like basically painted to look like a little orange. And it's like bloop.
like the fruit.
Yeah, like
Okay. It's just a little orange fruit. Like, and you know what?
you do know that the collector symbol is like a hand reaching for an orange, so it's not out of the ordinary necessarily.
So,
She probably looks at it confused for a second and goes,
okay, I guess I'll try.
Madoc always was a fan of citrusy goodness.
okay. So religion check. Do I have any help with this?
Yeah, I think basically as long as you have this, especially because it was given to you by this cleric, you can take advantage on your religion checks to get in contact.
Okay. And I'm going to guidance myself. Did I click it?
I don't see it.
Neither do I, but okay, there. Oh,
Ha ha ha.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm being slow. 11.
Even with 11, yeah, it's not good enough. I mean, it's not that like something bad happens or whatever. You just don't get any.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, any word back. It's like, I tried. Maybe
Well,
give it a
thanks.
try tomorrow. See if it works better then.
Thanks anyway.
Of course. Sweetoddy, ouch.
Sriwidadi.
Sriwidadi, out.
I'm calling this the Orange of Madoc.
Sure, yeah. The Orange of Madoc. Special magic item gives you advantage on religion checks.
Specifically
Specifically
Madoc.
towards Madoc, yeah. Not all religion checks.
Okay, that's it for me.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think the last thing that Alan says to you as you like leave, he's just like, all right, well, have a good trip, Deli. Remember, you're part of the collectors, so if you find any cool magic items, get them for the collection.
Of course.
I believe
Alan,
that
you know me.
I'm almost positive that there is a representative of the collectors in Farshore, if I remember correctly. We're everywhere, so get in touch with whoever that is when you get there. I don't even remember. He walks away.
Okay.
Cool.
I was about to tell him about probably what happens with Deli's like that. You know me, then remembers the stories and goes, yeah, but that's for the best.
Yeah. Cool. So then we see Anna make her way to the monastery.
So sad.
Yeah, we think we probably start off seeing all the little children like run to you and are hugging and crying you and be like, Anna, are you coming back?
Of course I'm coming back. I'm not just gonna leave you guys.
Okay. And then a little boy says, Anna, when you come back, I'm gonna be this tall. And he like puts his hand as high as he can go, like above him.
Whoa, that's really tall.
You watch.
Wow. I'm just kind of like, have like a little tear going down my face. They're so cute.
And Father Valentine walks in the room and has his hands folded in front of him. And yeah, there's another monk standing next to him, a young man. And he looks over at the children. He says, Now, children, let's not be bothering Acolyte Anna. She has a lot of work to do. And the children say, okay, and start wandering off to do their exercises or whatever. Go do your lessons. And Father Valentine walks up to you and says, well, you're off.
I'm off.
Godspeed, child.
I'm gonna miss you.
Do you
I
hug
just
him?
like, yeah.
Yeah. He pats her back and he says, oh, don't worry, child. I'll still be around.
But I'm not gonna be around. I haven't been gone for this long ever.
Well, you'll have a lot to share when you return, I'm sure. And there's always magic.
I was about to say, can you talk to me while I'm gone?
Sure, I'll check in with you every once in a while if you want me to. I trust you, though. I'm sure that you'll accomplish great things out there in the world.
Thank you, but it's less for you and more for me. I don't know
It's
how
all right.
I'm gonna like being gone.
There are going to be acolytes in Farshore, I'm sure, of the faith, and you'll be able to touch base with them if you need any spiritual guidance. I seem to remember a missionary of sorts going on that first voyage. Maybe you'll come across him.
Okay.
And then he turns to the young man that's standing next to him and says, "Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce you. Anna, this is, where's that name? It's not in the right folder. Here we go. This is Benedict Delamere. You may have seen him around, and like the name sounds familiar. You probably know most of the people in the monastery, but maybe for whatever reason you just never were close to this dude. And as far as you know, he's like he has like, in terms of like D&D stuff, he has like a level in monk probably, but is mostly cleric. There's probably monks and clerics and other things like that in the order. But so Benedict Delamere, and he says, Lavinia Vanderboren got in touch with me about enlisting a cleric for the voyage. I believe he'll be, Brother Benedict here will be staying on the Blue Nixie during the expedition. You may be able to, you'll probably be able to touch base with him if you have any questions or thoughts on the order or what. I'm sure with the both of you together, you'll be able to, how do you say this? You'll be able to take the wise course of action every time.
Honestly, that makes me feel a lot better about going.
And Benedict, just kind of looks at you nervously and nods and says, happy to be working alongside you, Anna. And here, I have actually a picture for him, actually.
Whoa, a picture.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Hot
on
NPC?
line and I'm already screaming, love triangle.
Well, yeah, Juno's staying here. We got to add another one to the love triangle.
Look, I gotta have 2 men going after me at all times.
Gotta fill your quota.
It's a requirement.
Yeah. But yeah, so Benedict Delamere, he is a level 1 monk and order domain cleric 5. So.
Whoa, equal level as us too.
Yep.
A healer, more importantly.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
so
out to Lavinia requesting a healer.
He's not high enough level to have Raise Dead, but he does have Revivify. And I think actually he does say this to you, Anna. He says, Lavinia said that you were having trouble with some violent encounters, and so I'm along to help with anything like that could lead to fatalities. And he actually hands you some scrolls. He says, here's some scrolls of what is it? What's the what's the one that keeps their body?
Gentle repose.
Yeah, gentle repose. He hands
I
you
have gentle repose.
Yeah, but he hands you some scroll. He also does this. He hands you some scrolls of gentle repose, and he's like, I might not be there when a battle happens. We'll be on different ships, but use these if you need me to bring someone back.
I just hold my hand on my little periapt wound closure necklace to be thank you. That really will be quite useful, I'm sure. Yeah,
because I realized you're going to be on a boat for several months and not have any resurrection magic at your disposal. So
thank you. You just see PTSD flashbacks in my eyes, dying many times and being oh yeah, that would be very bad to do that on the high seas.
Yep. But yeah, then he says, Father Valentine probably says this. He says, Benedict will go along with you to the docks if that's all right, Anna.
Oh, yes, I do have one stop to make before that, but sure.
Yeah, I think Benedict says, oh, it's no trouble. I can tag along if you don't mind.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Perfect. Lead the way.
As I go into the shadow shore.
Yeah, he's just like looking around like, what are we doing here? Though to be honest,
welcome to the whole new world.
I was going to say, though to be honest, Deacon Ross is in charge of Shadow Shore now, and it's only been a day, but there probably is at least a different vibe to the place.
It's
right?
been a couple days now.
Or a couple days. Okay, yeah, right, because you had the whole sword thing that you're finishing up.
Still.
So yeah, it takes a while to reverse a place full of crime, but it certainly feels a little bit different when you get
there.
But
if there was someone to do it, a large group of paladins would be
exactly
the best.
Exactly. Yeah, so Deacon is trying to tidy it up as quickly as possible, but yeah, you make your way to the new manor to the House of Science, probably, right?
Yeah, I go to the House of Science and I just like stroll my way in.
Yeah, and the Yuan T that's like guarding the door is just like, what? Excuse me, the 3 gold for that.
I'm just here for Nestor.
Okay.
I'm just like, it's okay. Come on.
Benedict's like, did you just steal from that man?
No. We're not here we're not patrons of this house. We're just coming to visit someone who lives here. That'd be like if somebody paid a fee to come visit you at the monastery. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yes, that would be a little.
If someone wants to come to the monastery and like donate, that's great. And we love that. But like just having someone pay to come say hi is kind of weird.
That does seem a little odd. All right. Well,
yeah, we're just saying hi to my friend and seeing if he wants to come on the ship with us.
Okay. And yeah, so you make your way down and down in the basement where all the other UNT are. There's basically a little UNT cult brewing down there, which Anna hasn't seemed to pay any attention to. But yeah, you show up and Nestor and Damien and a third gentleman is there as well. A kind of strapping young man. He's in his like maybe late teens, early 20s. He's pretty tan. But he is, I think, probably like petting a weasel in the corner. He's sitting in a chair in the corner of this room, and Damien and Nestor are like talking over a drink or two, and maybe some like a card game they're playing. And they're probably not playing or drinking. They're probably just like looking at maps and documents or something, and looking over some things. And they look up when you arrive, and Nestor says, "Oh, Anna, nice to see you."
Hi. Do you want to go on a boat?
He frowns. I'm sorry.
I kind of like move in a little closer, so I'm not just like announcing it to all the UNT, but I'm fine if like Damien hears and I guess this other guy.
Sure.
But just like being like, so working with Lavinia, we're gonna be going on a ship voyage and going to possibly the Isle of Dread. If you're interested, we might see the Crimson Fleet along the way. I don't know. I know they've tried to get there before, but I wasn't sure if this could be a good time for you to try and maybe we'll see. Is it House and Boscal? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's funny is as you're talking, you see Nestor and Damien and this other dude like looking at each other like with amused expressions. And then by the time you finish, Nestor looks back up and says, "Well, as a matter of fact, Anna, last time I was at the Vanderboren Manor, I spoke with Lavinia briefly, and she mentioned something like that. I'm actually already hired."
Oh, this is awkward. And
no, it's fine. I'm glad that you wanted me to come, though.
Sorry I didn't come earlier. It just had a lot going on.
It's probably a good thing that I figured this out before you came, though. We're leaving today, so that would have been very last second.
I thought I could maybe be kind of convincing, but yeah, I guess it's good that you knew ahead of time.
Yeah, and he nods and he looks back at like Damien and And the other,
All three of you guys are coming?
oh yeah, and Damien like shakes his head, and the other guy, I think the other guy who hasn't said anything, yeah, he says, "Oh no, we have things to do here in Calabar."
Okay.
But we may be seeing each other again at some point. And Damien just like is looking at Nestor at this point and kind of claps on the shoulders like, all right, well, I suppose that's as good a time as any to say goodbye. You know what to do, though. And
can I make an insight check? What does that mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a 28.
28.
Not quite a crit though. That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's not like you know what to do. Kill Lavinia as soon as you can. No, like nothing like that, right? Nothing seems sinister about it. It's just like you can definitely tell that there's something that Nestor is like an ulterior motive for why he's coming. Though to be fair, most of the people who are coming on this voyage probably have ulterior motives, like why they would want to go to Farshore, right? To like start a new life
and
or
I mean,
whatever.
I already know that he's looking for Alison Boskell. So like, would it make sense that I would assume that he's talking about that, or
pretty much? Yeah, maybe something more specific along those lines that you obviously don't know the details about, but it's nothing like sinister or whatever. It's more stuff that you'd be familiar with. It's just like, all right, you know what to look for. Like, you know, the Crimson Fleet is hanging out at these spots, and if you happen to pass by there and there's a ship that with flying these colors, you know, that sort of thing, right? Like, you know, we're trying to track down these people and whatnot. But yeah, Nestor looks to you and says, well, I suppose I'll have you lead the way. My bag's already packed. I'll just pick it up on the way out.
Wow. Okay. This is Benedict.
He was literally just about to ask.
Yeah.
And Benedict reaches out a hand and Nestor shakes it. And you can tell that there's a moment where Nestor goes for like the firm handshake and Benedict doesn't quite understand that that's the expectation. But he tries to compensate and like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh no.
And there's a little bit of a masculinity thing going on here for just a moment. Yeah. And then they let go of hands and
they were holding hands.
And Benedict says, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you're a friend of Anna's, then you're a friend of mine.
I kind of am just like, I mean, I guess that's kind of weird. We don't know each other that well, but I guess you're my brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. And I'm just,
I'm gonna get brother zoned.
Well, he's literally already
the
brother. He's already in the brother in Christ
and
zone.
He is a brother.
Yeah,
a brother in Christ zone.
Yeah. That's he's started off. That's his default state.
Yeah, and I just am kind of like, Lavinia asked Father Valentine if there was a cleric who could come help us. So he's going to be staying on Lavinia's boat. Are you staying on Lavinia's boat or our boat?
I'll be on the Sea Wyvern.
Oh, okay. That's our boat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the docks.
Yep. And he just says goodbye again to Damien and this other dude who he calls Henry. And then they
Henry.
Head out. Yeah. For your guys' benefit, out of character, that's Henry Smitherson, who is a character played by Joshua Lang in a side story we did. So actually, Alyssa, you played a side story with us when he was playing.
Yeah, I have a side character who's like doing
involved in this. Yeah.
Shadowshore, yeah,
he is in Shadowshore. Yeah, that's true. He was helping the little shrine there. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So, you guys head out, and then I guess we stay in Shadowshore and go to where Deacon Ross is in the manor. So, yeah, he's writing a letter probably as you walk in, take to his study. Git is there, I think. Git is like cross-legged on his big master bed in this like bedroom study that he has. Actually, no, it's probably just a separate study, not a bedroom. But so he's like on a big plush chair. This little Kenku dude. And he seems to be going over some sort of scroll or something, or probably a map. Actually, he's looking over. And Deacon looks up when you come in and sets down the quill. Says, Takwi, coming to say goodbye.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. Well, we'll miss you here. Calabar is going to be how do you say that?
Poorly.
Galabar will be in a worse state once you've left.
Oh, I very much doubt that, but thank you. I was mostly wondering, is there somebody I can contact in Far Shore if I need to contact you, or that is an ally of the Bitter Curtain?
Oh, well, funny you should ask that. And he turns to Git.
Oh, no.
And Git looks at you and then says, I'm coming with.
Okay, I mean, like, Taekwei's excited about this. I'm not.
Yeah. He stands up, patters his little bird feet over, and rolls up his map, puts it in like his pack. And Deacon looks at you and says, yes, actually, Lavinia has been in contact with us, talking about, well, you probably have heard, if you've heard any of the legends, that the Isle of Dread, it takes some doing to get access to it. Well, turns out our friend Get here happens to know the secret.
Oh. Get is full of surprises.
And Get just like whistles.
Well, I guess I was gonna say he's a bird. He can't whistle, but he can imitate any noise.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Taekwei's just like, wow. Yeah, he is full of surprises. Okay. Very good.
And then if there's a moment there, I think Get says, in a feminine voice, I'll leave you two alone. And then he walks out.
Just like, okay.
And Deacon stands up at that point and like takes a step towards you. He's like, I am going to miss you, Taekwei.
I'll miss you too. I've actually grown. I think we have a good friendship.
I'm gonna make an insight check for him. Where is his character sheet?
You can hear the music in the background go.
No, not that again.
Let's see.
I mean, she's not trying to like be deceitful or anything. It's just...
Well, so what he wants to know with the 15, he wants to know whether or not you mean like you're trying to friend zone him or not. Okay, sounds good.
Definitely not.
Thank you, Jordan. That was good timing too.
He just usually means like it's nice to have like another person to
of course,
be around that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. And I think he says, I feel like the timing didn't quite work.
Timing?
And he kind of like licks his lips like he's trying to think of something, what he's going to say. And he says, if you make it back from Far Shore in one piece, he kind of chuckles. Let's have a conversation.
About?
Do you say that?
Yeah, she's like, or can I make an insight check to see if I would know?
No, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's probably what that says.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you probably know what he's implying.
Okay.
17.
Taekwei kind of slowly nods her head. I think she'll say like, I've been reading up on European culture recently. And I've heard that when you greet or say goodbye to somebody that you give them a kiss on the cheek.
He's just staring at you intently.
So I guess I should probably head out.
He takes a step forward, cups your hand in his hands, or cups your face in his hands and kisses you.
Like just kiss?
Kiss.
Oh, jeez.
God, we need it again.
Yeah, I think Taekwei like kisses back. And then she just, as like they like part, she just goes,
it's a normal length kiss, isn't he? He doesn't try to go any longer. Yeah.
She just goes like, hold that thought for when I get back.
I will.
I know I'll be thinking about it. And then she just like walks away.
Yep. And he just kind of smirks to himself, chuckles, and goes back to his letter.
The only thing better is if Jordan could grab a saxophone and start playing Careless Whisper.
Yeah.
By the way, what is Deacon a paladin?
Yes. Yeah. He's a human paladin. Yep.
Okay.
Let me check and see.
What is Deacon? He's a human.
Well, yeah.
I was sure he was a paladin, but I wasn't.
He has.
Sure. Or is the real answer is he's a heartthrob.
It looks
The
like
real
he might have. He might be Oath of Conquest.
What is Deacon? A
So-
hot NPC, of course.
The real question is which one of those two moments with the guitar is Caleb going to use for the clip?
Well, no, I think I'm going to use the conversation about stealing Lavinia's ship at the beginning
Oh,
for the clip.
Fair enough. That was funny.
It's a good start off to season 3.
And then what is Git? Is Git
So Git is a kind of a weird multi-class situation.
Okay.
Lang had some fun building him. He actually built him all the way through like level 4 to 20, I think. And has separate character sheets for him in a different campaign, so that I can just use him whenever, at the proper level whenever I need to.
Is he all like weirdly min-maxed on stuff?
Probably.
I mean, that's Josh Lang.
Oh, yes, it is. So let me find Get. So Get is currently he's level 6, and he is a warlock sorcerer, 3/3. So yeah, I probably won't reveal what his like specifics are there, because that would be more of a secret. But yeah, warlock sorcerer.
Yeah. I'm mostly just curious about.
Yep.
The real
Lots of
question
magic
is
things.
does he play him like I played Twigsnap?
In what way? What do you mean?
Keeping very close watch of what you say and keeping a list of things you're allowed to say.
The reason that the thing I came up with for Get that allows me to just not worry about that is he's been everywhere, so he just has so many voice clips in his brain that he can just find anything.
Whereas Twigsnap was like in that one whatever.
Yeah, he was a
temple for
little
his
more
entire
isolated
life.
person. Yeah,
Mhm.
Twigs. Yeah, Get has been everywhere. So
Yeah.
cool. Yep. So Get follows you to the docks as well. Then.
Okay. And then I just want to talk to Muriel.
Oh yeah,
so-
sorry, you wanted to go to cool, yeah. So you show up at the Adamant League, and honestly it'd probably be good to have Audrin and Takewee both show up at the Adamant League at this point, to get your various assistants. Your respective assistants. And so you guys show up, and probably, I mean, Muriel's probably there, but also probably Captain Silvio, the leader of this chapter of the Adamant League. And they're just talking with the assistants that they've assigned to you and kind of like running them down some things. And you maybe hear, as you both walk in, you hear Silvio basically say like, usually we don't send such inexperienced members on such a extensive mission, but I'm sure that it'll be a growing experience for the both of you, and you'll come back with some, how do you say this? Trying to think of like a synonym for experience, because he already said the word experience.
A war scars.
Yeah, with some war scars between the both of you. And they nod, and as you hear that, and then you get a good look at them, like you walk further and get a good look. And one is a gal and one is a dude, and they look like. Oh, by the way, I don't think I ever showed you what Get looks like. The token I found for him. So that's Get. His little
Cool.
straw hat.
Oh, cute.
So yeah. But then your assistant, Audrin, is this dude. Tall, strapping young man named Tavinesk. Yeah, so long blonde hair. He is, let's see, he's wearing, let's see here, leather armor. He looks like if he had to be, and he does actually have one character level and one class level, and he's a level 1 rogue. But he has the sage background, so he's roguey, but he cares a lot more about the intelligent side of the rogue archetype. Has probably like a big satchel with a bunch of books in it. But he does have like a dagger or two. He's a rapier strapped to his belt. And then you see the gal who is Takewee's assistant, and her name is Lyrith Velderose. So she looks like that. Long dark hair, kind of tan skin. She's a bard, and she has a flute. She has a rapier. She also has some leather armor, and like a diplomat's pack. So those are your assistants, and as you get a look at them, you probably have been told their names and like their gender and stuff at this point, so you recognize them on sight, basically know who's is who. But Silvio turns to you and Muriel too, and says, there they are. All right, Lyrith, Tavi. I expect that you'll be incredibly helpful for our senior members.
For seniors, they're seniors at 6th level.
Well, not senior members being not like the basic. What is your actual like rank name?
we are not adept.
You're masters. Yeah.
We're masters. Yes, we are masters.
Yep.
Masters.
Yeah, so it goes apprentice, adept, master, council member, and grandmaster. So they're kind of like the standard level of they proved themselves, sounds good. They're a lore master now, sort of thing. Really, I mean, master in this case is probably more like Jedi Knight if you're using Jedi hierarchy, but you've proven yourselves, you've gotten the full oath, that whole thing. And you have a Padawan.
Of course, it all makes sense to me now. Thank you.
You have a Padawan,
Yes.
But I think they both greet you. Lyrith probably more enthusiastically than Tavi, but Tavi's not like being standoffish or anything. He just probably has a more quiet personality than Lyrith. Lyrith just has a big smile on her face, grabs your hand and like, she didn't shake it, but like, just kind of grabs it with her other hand and just says, "So good to meet you, Takewee. I'm sure we're going to be best friends."
Oh, Takewee loves that. She's like, yes, I would love to be your best friend. I've never had someone be so enthusiastically meet me before.
I've never met a Genasi before. I have a really quick question, if it's not inappropriate to ask.
Not at all.
Is the fire hot?
Touch it.
She does. And I think we've established that it's not necessarily, right?
No.
It's like warm probably, but not like burning hot or anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So she's like, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
And Tavi, I think just bows to you, Audrin. And he says,
"It's just barely warm enough to gooey up some marshmallows when you need to."
Takes about 30 minutes, but so Tavi kind of like does a quick bow to you, Audrin, and says, "Master Audrin, it'll be a pleasure to serve you. I'm sure I have a lot to learn."
Audrin takes a bit, like a slight, somewhat informal bow himself, and says, "We all do."
Yeah. Cool. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say to any of the people here, or.
No, I think Takewee would just kind of ask the same questions she asked to Deacon. Is there anybody that we know of, any adventurers that went out in the original party from the Adamant League that we should be aware of?
Oh yeah. Silvio nods, and I don't know the name off the top of my head right now, but he does probably give you a name, and I'll find that for next time. But he says, yes, we have an agent there. Actually, what was it? No, he probably wouldn't say that. He'd say, we try to have a hand in any new expedition like this, and as soon as we heard about it, we sent someone right away. You'll have someone to talk to when you get there.
Excellent. Well, we'll take care of them, and
yes,
we'll
don't
work
get them
with
killed.
We'll try not to. And she like, we've already died like 3 of them, like 2 of us have already died, whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anything else. I think she like takes a respectful nod to Muriel and just says, I packed a couple books and I'll keep training to be a better bard, and maybe Lyrith,
Yeah.
Lyrith and I can, learn more together.
I was gonna say, like, aren't you like really close in level when it comes to bard?
Oh yeah, I'm only 1 level ahead of her.
Oh, okay.
This is literally like what teachers do, right? Before we teach a new unit, we just like study the unit right before we teach it. So we're like, oh yeah, totally, I'm an expert on this.
Yeah, and I think honestly, Muriel like just kind of crosses her arms and she says, "Listen, Takeway, you learn more about being a bard from yourself than you ever did from me. You'll be fine."
Well, I'm still gonna take the little nuggets you gave me.
Yes. Good luck, you two.
Thank you.
Cool. And then Audrin, you just want to go talk to Juno last? Cool. So let's say you and Juno meet up in a bar. And he says, "Well, I suppose this is goodbye for now."
I suppose so. Now, Juno, you have to promise me one thing.
Yes, what's that?
While I'm gone, you can't stop being lucky. Because the last thing I need is to come home to trying to find your corpse.
I'll see what I can do, Audrin. And I've been thinking, ever since we had that conversation a few days ago, I think it might be time to stop playing pretend. To stop putting a cloak on and hiding in the shadows. It's probably childish, given all that's happened, to try to pretend like the neighborhood watch still exists, or I can still be that person, because I'm not that person. And I think what I need to be is... What I'm trying to say, Audrin, is I think I'm going to go back to my family. And, like, he didn't like being a noble. He literally left, like, the noble family he used to be a part of in Calabar to, like, be a street thief or whatever, right? And he says, "I've been thinking a lot about what I did back then. And I've tried to justify it in my head, but it keeps coming back to me like the actions of a child. I think I need to apologize to my father and mother and my brother. They've been worried sick. And I need to be better than that. I don't know what that's going to look like for me, what they'll want me to do. But I think I need to stop running and take some responsibility for once. I thought I was doing that before with the neighborhood watch, and to an extent I was, but to the expense of something that I should have taken more seriously. Anyway, wish me luck. Not sure how that conversation is going to go.
Sorry, it's hard for me to unmute my micro.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Audrin nods and he says, "Well, as you're moving on and trying to learn to not pretend that the neighborhood watch is still around, try not to pretend it never happened."
I think that's wise.
Because which is crazy because Audrin's not wise. He's smart. Audrin shrugs and he said, "It's something I heard Red say once."
She always did have some good aphorisms.
Efferhusums. Actually, Audrin would probably know what that means.
Yeah.
He's not unintelligent.
Yeah.
He's just not wise.
Yeah, he claps you on the shoulder and he says, "All right, go have fun, you lucky son of a gun, getting a ship handed to you." Stands up.
Yeah, Audrin does like his like arm on the other shoulder, and he's like, "Yeah, to be perfectly honest, it feels a little surreal still. Like, I never really earned it, but I guess I also didn't exactly earn to be on that pirate ship either. So,
just try not to get it
shrugs.
sunk.
I'm just taking things as they go."
Yeah, he says, "Just try not to get it sunk."
Audrin nods. It's bigger than a rowboat, so I think I'll be all right.
And that's a great way to end that scene. So cool. I mean, we could take a break here, or we could go on to the dock scene. Up to you guys. Let's push forward. So, we can be as detailed with this as you guys want to, in terms of like preparing for the voyage and stuff. We can say that, okay, Lavinia, handwave, she's gotten all the supplies and picked all the crew members and whatever. But any part of it you want to have a say in, you can feel free to do so. So a couple of notes. Let's see.
I can't hear anything. Give me a second. I don't know what happened. My audio just died.
Your audio just died?
I can't hear
Since
anything.
this is probably just real quick, since this
Yeah.
is probably the last time we're going to be in a major town, should we
Yeah.
get like a bunch of potions before we
Yeah,
go? Or are
shopping
we
would be
done
what
with
needs to
that?
happen now. Yeah.
Or I'm not sure if like Lavinia is like, oh, like we're gonna bring a bunch of them, or
I mean, she gives you money to deal with those sorts of things, right? Like she pays you to buy health potions, right? In at least somewhat. So she trusts that you can use your money to do that. I'm sure she'll have emergency stores on the Blue Nixie, but for the Sea Wyvern, that's kind of up to you guys.
do we want to buy like one more potion each? Just like
And in terms of the voyage itself is going to cover 3,000 miles. The voyage is probably going to take 3 months. So you might want to stock up.
Yeah, let's spend all our gold
on potions.
on like potions, and maybe we could get another like elemental or two. But truly,
Okay.
and this is gonna be a 3-month voyage.
Yeah.
Oh my
You'll have, so that's the thing. You'll have opportunities to restock at like smaller towns along the way.
Oh, okay.
It's not like there's no civilization from here to there. It's just that this is, so in terms of like pretty sure Calabar has like a certain, 40,000. You can buy things in Calabar that are up to 40,000 gold. Most places are not going to have that high of a range.
But just like,
I fixed it. I can hear now. What did I miss? Essentially, just talking.
We're just talking about
supplies?
shopping. Yeah.
Okay.
so like buying a simple potion would not be difficult to do further along.
No. Yeah. Anything. I think.
Because
in
that's like
terms
150 gold or something. Or
Yeah. Let me look real quick.
75.
It's 65.
65. Yeah, it's so cheap.
Here we go.
Got,
So
I've
I
got
think
about 1,100 a party. Or no, wait. Oh, yeah, about 1,100 party gold.
so in terms
Caleb,
of
I have a
real quick, in terms of the town size, like
Yeah.
GP limit stuff, you'll probably come across one town that has a limit of 3,000, so up to 3,000. But beyond that, you probably won't be better than 800 gold until you get to Farshore. So anything that is 800 gold or more, you want to buy now, for sure.
I'm not that rich anyway.
I don't know if we have anything that we want to do for 800 gold. I haven't really looked at the magic items in a while. We probably should have done that beforehand.
That's what I'm looking at now.
That's why I asked for my bracers of defense.
So what if, crazy thought, we take our break and then figure that out?
That's
Well-
true. Yeah, we could do shopping during the break.
Real quick. So, did we decide what we would do with the bag of holding that I put in the wall? We were going to just buy a
Buy another. I
replacement, or-
thought it was buy a new one.
Okay, we might replace that then with the gold I have.
Makes sense.
And then just have 2 later, and then if I need to, I can shove them in each other and cause.
Well, shoving a bag of holding into a bag of holding doesn't do anything. It's if you shove a portable hole into a bag of holding, or vice versa.
Oh, I thought it was a bag of holding in a bag.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's those two.
Okay.
I think there was something with turning one inside out within the other one or something.
No, it's just turning one inside out in general.
Oh.
And it doesn't do anything bad. It's just it
dumps
empties everything.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know what we're going to run into while we're off, so a bag of holding would be nice, so we don't.
Yeah, there will be opportunities for like some adventuring on the way too, so you might get some more treasure. But in terms of like buying things, yeah, might be good to stock up now.
I use all my money for bribing.
Yeah, it's fair. It's true. Anything else, or are you just basically buying potions?
I might get a shield, a plus. Okay, this is weird because my shield is technically a walk. Could I get it like turn into a plus
upgraded
1
walk?
Yeah. Essentially, just get a +1 shield.
Magic item crafting 5e. Let's take a look, shall we? I know the artist.
I mean, I've never really
has a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you wait a while.
I've never really used it as a walk. It was just like a flavor thing.
You can probably find a person. I mean, there's a 40,000 GP limit in this city, so you can probably find someone to enchant your walk into a +1 shield. I that sounds.
How
fine.
much would
all this walk talk? This joke comes as no shock.
How much would it cost?
Probably just the magic item cost, except minus the material.
500.
Minus the material, because you're not having to buy a shield.
So just 100. Sick.
What is it?
I'll upgrade my
+1.
Material cost for a +1 shield is 400. Labor cost is 100.
Well, material cost is not what I'm thinking. Oh yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
That's I see what it's doing here. It's material base. Wait, Matt. What is Matt base price? Number of Matt? I don't even know what that means.
No, you put this together. Caleb.
What does a shield cost? That's really the question.
10 gold.
10 gold. So just 490 gold is what it costs you.
490. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's still material costs associated with the
gold.
enchanting itself that you have to pay. It's just
that's why I was confused.
You don't have to buy a shield. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were you saying, Alyssa?
I was just saying, do we want to use party gold on anything other than potions? Because we could buy like 16 potions right now and just like use up all our party gold if we want.
I mean, maybe if we buy like 10.
Okay.
And then we still have like 500 party gold.
Something like that. Yeah. About half our party gold left. About 500.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like if we buy 10 and then we already have some like on each person, that should be a good point to then be able to like.
So let's say
stock up.
Should we just do 8? That way we each take 2.
Sure.
Okay, let's just do that.
Each get 2 more.
All right, take 2 more potions. Put them in
normal potions.
Yep.
Yeah, normal potions. Unless you think we should buy bigger ones, but.
Oh, you know what? Something to keep in mind here.
Admittedly, these.
Good.
No, you're good. Okay, my stuff is really laggy and slow, so if I
yeah.
start talking, it's because like I don't notice that people are talking.
No problem.
So go for it. You're good.
I was just going to say something to consider here. The 3 things ship-wise that you guys can make decisions on is figuring out the crew. I guess there's 4. Figuring out the crew, recruiting any more passengers, because there's technically a little bit more room for passengers that could be made. Adding, there's 40 tons of space that you guys can play with in terms of adding additional supplies or whatever else you think that space should be used for. Lavinia suggests if you don't have any other ideas, just to like load up on additional supplies for the colony itself. And then armaments. The Sea Wyvern is technically not outfitted with anything right now. You could buy up to 2 cannons and put them on there if you'd like. So those are things to consider if you guys have, gold that you want to spend on things.
Why do we need cannons when we already got these guns?
Oh my gosh. Someone pushes Deli off into the water and she drops.
Actually, that's something that I'd like to look into.
Yeah, I figured as much. You want cannons?
How much does a cannon cost?
I meant I would like to look into getting guns. I meant.
Oh, like a gun. Sure. Yeah. A cannon is going to be 600 gold.
Do we also have to purchase cannonballs?
Probably. Yeah, you'd probably have to. Yeah, here we go. Small cannonballs. Here we go. 5 gold each for those. And then in terms of guns, let me find that section here.
So do we not want to get healing potions then? Do we want to buy
that's what I was just remembering is we should if we figure out if you want anything else before you spend all your gold on healing potions. Audrey, it's 200. Yeah, it's 250 gold for a pistol, 500 for a musket. 3 gold for 10 bullets. Yeah, if you guys have any ammunition you need to stock up on, now is going to be the time. I don't know if Audrey, I guess you have crossbow bolts you probably want to buy too.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to ask about is because that reminded me of Adamant League stuff.
Yeah.
Since we're going to be gone for a couple months, do we just pay up front?
You'd probably, when you get to Foreshore, you just go ahead and give your tithe then, because there's a person there you can talk to.
They'll probably say that, right? Give them your tithe.
Yeah, there's a Adamant League agent
when we
in
get to
Foreshore.
We'll be able to.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we have exactly 608 gold left with the potion. So do we want to just spend it all and just buy
a cannon and 2 cannonballs?
And then 1 cannonball?
I mean, I can give some of my just gold to buy cannonballs.
Okay. You know what? Why don't we do this? I'll get rid of one of my potions. And
I already had 2 potions.
Yeah,
but we're going to be gone for 3 months.
Yeah, but we can always buy more of those later. So
that's true.
So I'm gonna get rid of one of my potions.
Take one from me too.
Okay, well, but if I get rid of one of my potions, then that already gets us 13 cannonballs.
Okay. Well, 13 cannonballs does sound like a decent amount. I have 4 potions of healing and 1 potion of greater healing right now. So
yeah, no, you can.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay, so we have exactly 8 party gold left.
Very nice.
Ooh, sounds like a pretty good party we can throw.
We buy some beer for the boat.
Yeah. Audrey, did you want to buy a pistol?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So here's the thing. I think I want to buy 2.
Okay, yeah. So that's 500 gold for 2 pistols, and then it'll be 3 gold per 10 bullets.
3 for 10, so 300 for 100. No, 30 for 100.
And then, Jordan, since you're in charge of the ship, do you want to put that you have 13 cannonballs?
Oh, yeah.
In the sheet.
Yeah.
But yes, don't worry. Even though we're starting to go more into exploration into the wilds mode, I will give you more opportunities to buy treasure, to sell things. We won't do a repeat of Terra Nullius where there was never any opportunity to sell anything.
Or
pistol ammo? This is what it's called?
Bullets. Because you can technically use them for pistols or rifles.
Okay, I only caught part of that because it was
bullets
lagging out. What was that?
They're called bullets.
Bullets.
It's
right,
because you can use the same bullets for pistols or rifles in the rules here, at least. Probably can't in real life, but.
Let's see. So what would I'll just go with I'll just assume 100's decent for now. 100 bullets.
100 bullets, yeah, probably. Because you can always stock up later on one of the towns you guys are going to visit on the way, too, if you happen to shoot 100 bullets before that point.
Yeah. Oh, and like that was something else. Like, because I think we were at one point going to talk about me training with the Adamant League to figure out how to use gunpowder and stuff.
Yes. Do you?
But
I mean, honestly, the easiest way to do that is just to get the gunnery feat, the gunner feat or whatever, when you have the next opportunity to do so. Because that also gives you some bonuses and things. I know we've talked about doing training stuff. The issue is there's not really going to be anyone to train you for that 3 months, unless you want to like literally just like hire an Adamant League dude to come with you to train you with guns. That's a thing you could do technically.
See, that was the thing that I was thinking of doing,
Yeah,
but I wanted to see
sense.
like what that would even look like if that's possible for us to do.
100%. Let me see if I can find the training rules that we dragged up. Yeah, here we go. Variant training. So it was. Let's see. Should be a gun somewhere here. Maybe not. I have to find some sort of equivalent in this list. Where's a hand crossbow? Probably. Here we go. Okay, so it's going to take. Let's see. What is your intelligence and dexterity?
My intelligence and dexterity.
It's just your scores, not the bonus.
Yeah. Intelligence is 18.
Okay.
Dexterity is 14.
Okay, so then we'll take the average of 16 of those. So what's 2,000 divided by 16? 125. It's going to take you 125 hours of training. Which. Wait, why does it? This is weird. It says hours of training. Oh, equal days to be. I see. So it's going to take 125 days of training to be proficient in this gun. In terms of 3 months, so it's going to be about 90 days. So I mean, man, might as well, right? Because if you get a day of training with it every day, you're close by the time you get there.
I mean, that's only another
3 months there, and then we have to come back too.
Right, exactly. There will be time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lavinia's planning on staying on the Isle of Dread for a few months as well to like help the colony get up and running and stuff like that. So you guys will be there for a while, but there'll be free time as well to train. I think that makes sense. So the only thing with that is it will cost 8 gold a day, but I think for you, because it's going to be Adamant League stuff, we'll say 4 gold a day. As the cost, you don't have to pay all of it up front necessarily, but that's technically the gold you're giving this dude to train you.
Could it just be one of the guys that we were already hiring anyway, like bringing on anyway?
I see. So let's do this. Audrin, make a persuasion check. We'll see if you can convince this dude to be like, you want to be a colonist on Farshore anyway, and like open a gunsmithing business. How about we'll give you free passage if you train Audrin in a gun, right? That can be a deal you work out. So go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay.
We'll see how well it works.
Okay. There's probably nothing I can get for advantage, so I'll just probably
not. Yeah.
Roll. Gotta love that negative frame rate.
Yep.
Oh, please. I clicked it. Just roll it. Pretty please.
It's been slow for me too. It might just be roll 20 today.
No, I mean, my whole computer's being slow.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Guys, guess what costs exactly 8 gold?
What?
A barrel of cheap ale.
There you go. Last thing you get.
I will say I'm a little disappointed because I heard the CH sound and the E, and I'm like, oh, please tell me it's a barrel of cheese.
Yeah, that's honestly what I was expecting too.
I don't know if Anna will have ever had alcohol before.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think
Okay,
people
did
would
it-
buy it to
Well,
lift up the spirits.
They take communion regularly, so you'd at least have
Yeah,
communion
but
wine.
like drinking alcohol.
There it is.
Yikes, only a 7. Yeah, I don't think so. You're gonna have to pay, but you still get the discount for Animate League at 4 gold a day. So how much gold do you have currently, Audrin?
Including without taking away from the pistols yet, I have 1,600. 1,600 gold.
Yeah, I mean it only costs 500 gold. Then you can just pay them that up front, and there you go. 125 days of gun training are at your disposal.
But does that is he? What about once he gets there?
Basically, you would sign a contract and be like, you owe me 125 days of training. You guys can work that out from there. And so once you get to Far Shore, you can be like, okay, cool. We'll train every other day while we do adventuring and other times, and then eventually get it up to 125.
So he's just willing to come to Far Shore is
yeah. I mean, I think that was already
thing where he's
that was already going to be part of the deal because I mean, maybe he'll come back eventually. Maybe he'll be like, I'll stay there for a while, see if I like it, and then go back on the next ship that comes back. But he's at least agreed that much. He's an Adamant League dude, so it's not like he's adverse to exploration or whatever. So yeah.
Okay, so it's just that's just a total of 500 gold.
Yes, indeed, 500 gold.
Plus the additional 500 for my 2 pistols.
Yep. And 30 for the 100
So
bullets.
question. So we are for sure, and I don't know if this messes you up or not, Caleb, but we are for sure taking a boat there and a boat back. We're not maybe hiring a teleportation circle guy to come with us.
So this is the thing. The goal here is to eventually set up a shipping lane, right? To have ships going to and from the place. It costs a lot of money to set up teleportation stuff, and so she's not necessarily banking on that right now. She wants to try to get up a normal shipping venture going between these two places, but she needs to build up Far Shore first and make sure that the route back is safe and do whatever she can to try to figure that out and gauge how difficult it was to get there and figure all those things out before she makes those decisions. But the plan right now is eventually a ship will be going back. By that point, you might be high enough level that you can just, do that sort of thing anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, Bard, Sorcerer, or Wizard, 5th level spell.
Yeah. So.
And it takes a year to put together a teleportation circle.
Yeah, there's also that, right?
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
But would it not be plausible that somebody powerful enough would already be on Far Shore? They just didn't have any of the other things memorized to be able to travel.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll have to look at the notes for Far Shore.
Yeah, I was really just curious because we did something like that with Navarro. So
Yeah, we were playing a little bit more fast and loose with that because he was verdict dude. So he had a lot more stuff at his disposal.
Yeah.
But for now, Lavinia doesn't have any plans to do that, but that doesn't mean that won't come up in the future. So
that's true.
Yeah,
she's got more limited resources.
Yes, exactly. Cool.
Yeah, it takes 50 GP a day for a year.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a lot of gold. Cool. Yeah. So I guess I gotta make up a gunsmith NPC or whatever. So that's fun. I don't think he really fits in any of the other NPCs. Yeah, has to be a new slot there. Cool. So I'll come up with who that guy is. Actually, let's generate a name for him quick. What race do you think this guy should be? Any thoughts?
Well, obviously Chinese because the Chinese invented gunpowder.
Oh yeah, that could be a thing.
True.
I mean, the Chinese invented gunpowder to set off fireworks. And
I know, but still, they invented it. Give them credit.
No, I am giving them credit. They just didn't invent guns in that sense.
I know. I'm just.
But I think that can make sense though because well, we do already have. I'm just trying to think of. Free Chinese elf guy. Let's let Audrey decide. Audrey, who do you want? What race do you want this guy to be?
Oh dear.
Doesn't really matter. It's just
Well,
there's
because
a lot of human
like
NPCs on this boat, so
yeah. I'm just trying to think of like I imagine it would be my mind goes to either dwarf or gnome because
that could be
both
fun.
of those seem really
Let's go
like,
with
especially
dwarf.
dwarf seems
Let's do a
like,
dwarf. Yeah.
Like because he's like he's smithing.
Yep.
So he's got to
Love
have
it.
all the prowess for that, but it's also like very,
Is this a Scottish dwarf or a Moldovan dwarf / Russian dwarf, or Eastern European would work?
Weren't the
I'm thinking Scottish this time.
Halflings were Irish.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, Irish and Gaelic are besides Scottish. Obviously Scottish is also Gaelic, but Celtic and Irish were halflings, and Scottish are dwarves. So, all right, Scottish name generator.
It's
kind of hilarious. I think I might go with this name. The first name that he generated was Jax Curry. I like Jax. Jax Kennedy. That's this guy's name. Ugh, my name's Jax Kennedy.
I just imagine like he's so good with guns that he can actually like he plays Jax, right, and he just like keeps like a Jax kit with him, and then he bounces the ball and he like shoots a bunch of people and then picks up all the Jacks all in one turn.
It's like, no, not that Jack. Jax with an X.
So Nick, here's the thing, Jordan. If we arrive and by the time you're done with the training, he dies, you get all your gold back.
Well, even if like once we arrive, after I get done with my training, if he dies, then yes, maybe so.
You're just gonna leave the gold there with the corpse? I should take it back. I'm not saying we do it.
Yeah.
Saying you could do.
Cool.
Question.
Yes.
What class is Nestor? Is he
Nestor's a
fighter? Ranger.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he has.
Is he bringing his bird?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has his harpy eagle. Yeah.
Nice.
He's bringing along.
I already picture all the
Yaris.
Git and Nestor jokes going on here.
Okay. I have.
Oh yeah, Nestor. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that.
Wait,
I
what?
hate it so much. Nestor as in nest birds.
You said it, not me.
I know. I'm trying to get a token for this dude. Okay.
I have a question about some of the like how like the technicalities of how I'm of learning it. Because am I basically like gaining the gunner feat? Is that what's, or am I just gaining?
You're gaining proficiency with guns.
Firearms.
Yeah, with firearms. Yep.
So I'm gaining firearms. So I won't be getting the gunner feat.
No.
Okay, that's good to hear.
You might be able to pay more money to get the gunner feat.
Well, here's my problem with the gunner feat. I don't like shooting from my toes. No, I'm kidding. The problem is with gunner.
You ignore the loading property of firearms. Being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on your range attack rolls. Yeah, that's a great feat.
Don't you already have something that gives
I already have the being within 5 feet doesn't impose disadvantage on my range attack rolls because of my fighter. And with when I become an artificer, I will be ignoring loading altogether.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, then we don't need to worry about that then.
So,
yeah.
the only additional I'm bypassing two things, and the only other good thing about it is increasing my dex score by 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the way
So
that the
it's like-
rules work, I think you're just getting proficiency in pistol, not rifle necessarily, but I don't think Audrey's going to be using a rifle anytime soon. But yeah, you won't need to get any of the other stuff or whatever.
Harder to dual wield rifles.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Jax Kennedy looks like this. Boom. He has a cigar. Why not?
Caleb, you've done it again. Another hot NPC. You just
He's-
keep delivering.
He just
You're
search. He
welcome.
just searches hot dwarf
People what they
NPC.
want.
Yeah, I put hot in front of every male NPC I ever look up just
Caleb,
for you
thank
guys.
you.
Actually, I do it for
Okay.
all NPCs.
Okay,
'Cause I want Audrey to have a
But
romance.
Can you do the same, but put like ugly NPC, like ugly dwarf,
Yeah.
ugly male dwarf?
Mm-hmm. Just for you, I'll do that next time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
He's a hunchback dwarf.
Real quick, I'm gonna send
From
you
France.
guys this heavy cannon listing. It's like a homebrew thing that someone made. It's not actually in any of the official books, as far as I know,
Huh?
at least. As far as I know, it's not. They have rules for like gunpowder that it just explodes like bombs and things, but they don't have cannons. So here is, but this rule looks good enough. It looks like a good weapon. Heavy cannon for your guys' reference. That's how it works. Cool. Sounds good. Okay, so the other things to take into mind are, first off, well, I guess first we can do is right now the Sea Wyvern can comfortably accommodate up to 30 people on a long voyage. There's bunk space for 22, but an additional 8 can sleep on mats in the galley or the forward hold if needed. And it's about as comfortable as the bunk on the ship anyway, right? Currently the total number of passengers is 22. Lavinia didn't plan on making anyone sleep on mats. The gunsmith dude is going to be that 23rd dude who's going to have.
I can sleep on a mat. I'm totally used to it.
Yeah. And the 22 includes PCs, named NPCs, colonists, and then this gunner guy. Will be 23. But yeah, if Anna wants to take a mat, then we can
I
make
will
gunner.
gladly take a mat.
Yeah, gunner guy can have a bunk then. Then the other question there would be: is there anyone else you want to try to hire? Do you want to like try to get more colonists or more of a particular type of person to come on the voyage? Kind of up to you guys. That will mean you will probably need to buy a bit more food to make sure everybody has food for their whole voyage. But
I did want to ask about a harpoon. Is that a thing?
like a harpoon gun.
I was gonna say if we're going whaling.
Well-
Oh, I guess
maybe a
yeah. You could
harpoon.
probably fire a harpoon from a cannon, can't you? No.
I don't know about that. I feel like that would splinter the wood.
know.
The thing
You have
is,
to have
I'm
a-
only seeing homebrew things that are
Yeah,
official.
it's a separate
there's
thing.
no official. Yeah.
I found a
Harpoon
UA. I found a UA for some stuff, but
Yeah, harpoon gun would probably be a
Um,
different thing, Audrey. A separate thing that you had to buy.
Question.
Well, yeah. Well, I was even wondering if there was just harpoons in general.
There's probably homebrew
Um,
rules you can find. Did you say you found harpoon
what?
stuff, Seth?
What do you want? No, I found a UA for just ships in general. But
Oh, you know what? I
don't
think
see
I have
cannons.
that.
It's called Of Ships in Sea.
Yeah,
and
I
the
think I
Sea.
have that.
The combat doesn't have a cannon though. It has ballista, and it's
That's what
weaker
I was
than-
thinking of.
What?
Was ballistas.
Yeah, I mean,
was
it
thinking,
It would be ballistas, except for the fact that we've advanced in technology and now they have cannons. So
But the ballista would essentially be what he's looking for.
that's true.
Do we have people who are going to out in this ship who are just like the little extra people who are very strong?
Say that again.
Do we have just like some of the extra people accompanying us who have a good strength score? Just looking at how to load the cannon.
Oh yeah,
Is a
that's true.
strength save.
Yeah, you can hire some cannoneers. Yeah, some gunners. That makes sense.
Because they must make a DC 15 strength save. And I mean, obviously we have Takui is pretty strong, but I don't know if she's always going to be Logan.
Might not be a bad idea to see if we could find somebody to fire a cannon.
Yeah.
Let's just say, and I think this was something Lavinia is willing to pay for. Like, cannon would be your idea, whether or not you want a cannon on the Sea Wyvern. But I think if she's like, oh, okay, cool, you got a cannon, sure, I'll have these 2 people come on as extra. So yeah, we'll say we have 2 cannoneers, 2 gun artillerists, who can
like proficient in strength saves.
Yep. And in the cannon itself, yeah.
Excellent. I was looking at that and I'm like, maybe some people good at that, please.
Good call.
I don't even know why I'm proficient in strength saves. That's strange, but okay.
Yeah, we've got cleric.
I mean, Git knows the fog stuff and is going to have magic.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then, so real quick, the other people who are going to be coming, that just for your guys' reference, so you can make a qualified decision here as well. There's going to be a half-orc dude coming. So as you probably get there.
You mean a hot half-orc dude, right?
Well, you decide. Is this guy hot?
I mean, he's not hot.
I mean, for like a half-orc, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So,
I mean, yeah.
This dude is, I think he's a barbarian by class. But he has the sailor background, so he's another dude he's probably, if Audrin wants him, is okay with this, he'd probably be a good first mate. Right, another dude who knows about sailing and things, more explicitly than just tying things down. So there's that guy, and Takewee, actually, when you guys are like at the docks, like meeting everybody and stuff, this guy looked familiar. This is the half-orc that you met in the city when you guys were rushing to Lavinia's estate. He had a gnome or a halfling friend who like bumped into you or someone or Deli or someone.
Oh yeah,
like, yeah. Back off, and he was like, "Oh, respect,
yeah.
girlfriend." And then
so it's that guy.
Like, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So wait, the
Kurgle,
the other
is his name.
Who did you show the picture of him?
Yeah, that was that guy.
Oh, the half-orc that you showed us.
Yeah, I don't think his halfling friend is coming. But yeah,
good.
Just this dude. Yeah, he was belligerent.
Put him in his place.
So also you have a priest named Father Fernando. He's like a older Hispanic man.
He can have church on Sundays.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a priest about a Dragonborn Jesus, and he's planning on going to Far Shore to like join the chapel there or whatever, right? And then you have Avner Maravanchi, who is, I think she talked to you about this dude, Anna. But his uncle is the noble who's still at Far Shore. He was the guy who went into business with Lavinia's parents to figure out this expedition, and he's the one who's been keeping it up while they've been gone. And so Avner, like the Maravanchi family, is like helping fund this expedition, and so Avner's coming along, to make sure everything is tip top and whatever, like being the noble who's watching over everything, sort of thing, and then go visit his uncle and stuff. Anyone who wants to can make a quick history check to know more about the Maravanchis.
Yeah.
Ooh.
19 history's pretty good.
Do you have a picture for that guy?
Yes. Did I not show it? Oh, here we go.
No.
Boom. There he is.
Yes. Yeah, see?
Indeed.
He looks like Nigel Thornberry.
He doesn't sound like Nigel Thornberry, but yeah.
So I'm not going to comment on what this guy looks like, but
so with a 19, Takewee, you're the only one who's heard anything about the Maravanchi specifically. The thing is that Zebula Maravanchi is this dude's father, and is the actual district like noble lord of Calabar's family, Calabar's noble family. So his brother is the one who went to Far Shore, but Zebula, who's Avner's father, is a minor noble whose family interests run to the decadent and extreme ends of entertainment. Whispers of the extremes to which the Maravanchis have gone in their notorious parties have always given the taverns of Calabar something to talk about. Also, Takewee, rumors are that Zebula has a secret harem of exotic slave girls ranging from tieflings to elves to genasi. So their family has a not so good reputation. For debauchery and decadence and stuff. So who knows what this Avner guy is going to be like. You haven't really heard a whole lot about Avner himself, but if he's anything as like his father, he's probably bad news.
He has Genasi slaves.
You've heard a rumor. You don't know if it's substantiated.
Oh, I already hate this guy.
Yeah.
But then the uncle,
Because slavery is so bad for me. I'm like, our people were under oppression for
exactly.
years.
Yeah.
Still
But then-
kind of are, but
Yeah.
his brother is the one who's in charge, and his brother is the one who's kind of the most tame of the family.
Indeed. Yeah, as far as the rumors go, that guy, I think his name is Manthale, right?
Yeah.
Manthale Marivanchi is the what's the word I'm looking for? More respectable brother.
okay. So Abner is not a respectable gentleman, is what you're saying.
Yeah, as far as you know. Like again, Avner
Why
himself.
is he coming?
Avner himself is the son of the Lord who has all the debauchery. So again, he's coming because the Marivanchis are funding this expedition, right? So he kind of has to come.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's staying on the Blue Nixie.
No,
he
he's on the Sea
bringing-
Wyvern. Yeah.
Is he bringing
Everyone I just
food?
said is on the Sea Wyvern. So
Is he bringing like a servant? with
yes,
him?
actually, he does have 2 servants with him. He has what are they called?
So he must be a bard then if he's a bit of a debauchery first.
Oh my god.
Wow. How
That's
dare you.
rude to
No,
bards
that's just-
everywhere.
It's just the stereotypical bard.
I know.
Yeah, that you're playing into that stereotype right now.
Yeah,
It's kind of rude.
Special. I was expect better from you. Seth Tweedy would be disappointed.
Yeah, besides, we all know that it's the paladins with the oath of throwing it back that are.
You know what? I
Throwing it
bet
back.
someone's made a homebrew of that. I'm looking it up.
Oh no, it's a thing. It's a thing.
I know. I'm just seeing if it's if there's an official unofficial homebrew for. Yep, here it is.
Hello, I'm Avner.
But yes, so Avner probably sounds like this, right? He's like, "What are you doing?" That sort of thing. But Avner has 2 servants that he's bringing along with him. They're already counted in the crew
What
or the
race are
passenger.
they?
And yeah, he has not arrived yet. When you guys are measuring everybody up and whatnot. But so is there anyone else you want to add? So you have 2 cannoneers and the gun trainer who's going to help Audrin. You have, let's see, how many more spaces? 5 more. 5 more spaces that you could fill, but you don't have to.
Okay.
For every other person you add, you have to add more food. So yeah, I don't know if there's anyone else you would have in mind.
How much does another 3 months of food cost?
So Lavinia is going to take care of all that money wise. You guys don't have to worry about that. If you guys think that a person is worth coming on board, she's more than happy paying for the food for it.
Okay.
But she also is fine with you guys. If you have any particular ideas about how to use the extra space, that's fine too. I think at this point, let's see, 25 passengers. So let's see.
I'm just trying to get the list of everybody. When I was counting it up, I only counted 16.
I started writing down some of the characters, and then I'm like, I'm not writing down anymore.
Well, I'm just trying to keep track of do I have
all the
everyone
named
accounted
NPCs?
for?
Yeah. So everyone should be in this folder. If you look on the side here,
okay.
the Sea
That's
Wyvern. I
part of
have
the reason I'm
a
not looking.
folder called the Sea
okay.
Wyvern. So anyone that's there is on the Sea Wyvern. I also have a Blue Nixie folder, right? So Lavinia's on there, Carla's on there, Benedict is on there, and then the Jade Ravens as well. Her other adventuring crew are on the Blue Nixie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tolan Gisborne,
Didn't-
Doral Adrianic, Leandra Bastos, and Zondalan.
One of them died, right?
Yes. Leandra died. That's what it was. And then they rezzed her. So
Okay.
yes.
Because we can only see the people that you revealed to us.
There should be so it should be accurate if you can see Avner, Father Fernando, Get Out of That, Jax, Kurgle, Lyrith, Nestor, and Tabby.
Yep.
Yes.
That should all be correct. Yeah. So obviously there are other characters that we know exist, but they don't have necessarily character sheets. So like the gunners and his Avner's servants and things.
I know who we should bring. We should find a level 20 wizard and bring him.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have 100,000 gold you can pay him?
No.
Yeah.
We're paying him in exposure.
But we can pay him in promises of riches.
Exposure to the weather. To the horrible weather on the open ocean.
See, we don't tell him what we're exposing
What kind
him
of
to.
exposure? Yeah. Perfect. In terms of provisions, I think, let's see, it hasn't listed here. It's like there are we start the voyage with 2,000 units of food, unless you guys want to make any more. That's 10 tons of food. And one person takes 1 unit of food per day, right? So with 25 people on board, and 2,000 units of food. Oh, I did the wrong way around. So you have 80 days of food. You can add more if you'd like to get that up. That's not enough to actually get to far shore.
I'm guessing we can buy provisions,
but you can buy more on the
way.
way. Exactly. Okay. So if you want to, you can literally just fill up the rest of the space with supplies for the colony, right? And not worry about anything in particular. And then just keep topping off your food when you get to the ports.
That sounds good.
Cool.
That's
Yeah, we
fine.
can do that. And Lavinia's paying for that, so you don't have to worry about that money-wise. But yeah, it should be an 80... Oh, yeah, 2,000 units. It's enough for 80 days. Okay, cool. So next thing we can do is, Audryn, you can decide who you want on the crew. So the way this is going to work, you need a crew of at least 7 to sail, including you. And basically, so it says, in order to make the voyage to the Isle of Dread, the Sea Wyvern needs a crew proficient in water vehicles and trained in nature or survival. Basically, and that's probably worded weirdly, but one person needs to be proficient in water vehicles, and one person needs to be proficient in nature or survival. Basically, you need a captain, like a pilot, a pilot and a navigator, right? You need someone to actually navigate people correctly and one to actually steer the ship and know about the rigging and stuff. You are the person who has water vehicles proficiency. And I think Kurgle actually has survival. He does, yeah. So he can make that role. He can fulfill that role if you'd like. If you want someone else to do that, that's fine. You can also just make him your first mate. Let's look at other people. Nestor might be a good person to put on navigator duty, actually, because he's a ranger. So he has an 8 in survival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do Nestor.
Yeah. So he can be the navigator and just be like the person who like watches the coastline, make sure you guys looks at the nautical charts, make sure everything is in order. You're the water vehicle proficient guy, and then really the other people on the crew really just need to be people who can take orders, right? They don't actually need to know anything about ships as long as they're listening to what you're telling them to do. So up to you who you want to be crew members. Totally up to you. But you need if you're having Nestor and Kurgle help you, then you just need
3 more.
4 more people.
Oh yeah, 4 more.
Yep. Crew of 7. So you can literally just make the rest of the party crew members and then someone else, but Anna would be certainly a good person to climb rigging.
Ooh, I do have climbing skills.
Yeah.
And if I fall, no big deal.
Right. And Takewee's strong, so.
And I can get people if they fall overboard.
That's true. Actually, that's really true.
Rescue crew.
Yeah.
Do
That
you
is just the look.
I can literally turn into a shark.
do you 3 want to be part of the crew?
No, I'm staying on land and watching you guys leave and taking over.
Well, otherwise you'd be a passenger, is the idea.
I'm like, I don't really think there's anything else to do. I might as well keep
pretty much
my working.
So then that's 3. So then,
you just need one more person.
So
Unless you want me
actually,
to be the entertainment.
That's true.
I still also have the trident of fish command. I have never used. If we run into a kraken, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
I don't have polymorph yet though.
Oh, you know who might make more sense as a navigator because he's a more scholarly type anyway? He has Tavi, your assistant, Audrin. Right? Like he has like a nature as his skill. And he'd be more familiar with like maps and things in like a nautical way than Nestor would, just in fiction.
Sorry,
But
a bunch of
up
that
to
has
you.
been skipping out. Did you say you said who? Tavi?
Tavi, well, Tavi has the nature skill, and I feel like it might make more sense like in the actual narrative for him to be doing that in terms of like reading nautical charts and stuff, because that's like the Adamant League thing to do. And then he can learn from you and stuff. But Nestor can be a crew member too.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's kind of what I was kind of hoping is that I could have him kind of as my first mate.
Like just shadowing you, basically.
Yeah, shadowing me, and then like.
I mean, if he's a
Yeah,
navigator,
together.
he's going to be working pretty closely with you, right? Like you guys are going to be working side by side, basically figuring out where to make the ship go where it needs to go.
Well, what was the one that didn't Nestor have, or didn't Nestor have something that we needed him to?
So Nestor has
use
one
for
of the
that? You said it was
skills.
a +8.
Yeah, so I've been going back and forth. I didn't think about Tavi having the nature skill in the actual original adventure path. It just says, well, for D&D 3.5, it was knowledge geography, which is nature in this. Survival, I was gonna like let survival pass as a second option, but I think it just makes more sense for nature to be the skill that's being used here. Anyway. And so even though Tavi has a 7 in it, I think I might just make the call and be like, actually, we'll just have nature be the skill you have to use. I think it just makes more sense that way.
Okay, so nature's the skill we have to use.
Yeah.
And
Nestor has that, but he has it at a 2.
Okay, and Tavi has that as
At
a
a 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we're not losing out like going from like a +8 to a +3
No.
or something like that.
Yeah, Tavi has rogue expertise in that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's go with Tavi doing that.
But then Nestor is more than happy to help with the crew.
Yeah.
They'll be closer to Anna that way anyways.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And then honestly, Lyrith could be the entertainment. She would be more than happy to provide that. She's a bard, right? Yeah.
But that pretty boy better stay away from
her. Tavi, yeah.
No, not Tavi. The other guy that has slaves.
Which other guy?
Yeah, the slaver boy.
Avner.
Avner.
Yeah.
Oh, Goober Man. He's not a pretty boy.
Yeah, his mustache is a little wonky.
Probably thinks he's a pretty boy.
Yes, indeed. Cool. So then if we have all of that taken care of, I think we're about good. Do we want to take a quick break here and then come back? Or we could,
it's already like 8:30,
we could also just keep going because it's already 8:30 basically. So unless anyone has to really pee really bad, I say we just, I guess, push forward. Cool, let's do it. All right, so there will be more stuff to talk about when we're actually off on the sailing part of it. There'll be like regular checks you guys will make and stuff to stay on course and whatnot. But beyond that, we'll go ahead and just start with, as you guys are like on the dock, getting everything set up, filling, getting the rest of the supplies on board the ship, and assigning the crew and all that stuff. It gets about time to leave, and Avner's not here. You can't leave without him because like he's an important noble who has to be pandered to at least somewhat. But it's a half an hour past the time you're supposed to leave by the time he strolls up. So right away he probably gets off on the wrong foot with you guys. But with him are his 2 servants, and he has like a really fine looking horse. And I don't think you guys knew he was bringing a horse. So you're like, you would need to get rid of like a bunch of space that you've already filled up to like have the horse come on. But he immediately
Horse is not coming.
But he just starts like
Kelly, talk to the horse. Tell the horse that they're not coming.
Tell the horse to run away.
I don't have speak with animals prepared.
What are you good for, Deli?
So the first thing he does, he steps up and he says, "All right, I'm here. We can leave. Would someone please take Thunderstrike?"
Dang, that's a pretty cool name.
Deli would just is okay. We're at the docks, right?
Yeah, you're at the docks. Yeah,
Is there like a stable nearby?
probably not nearby. No.
Darn it, because my idea was like Deli goes okay,
Does,
and then like starts
Lavinia
bringing.
say anything?
Who?
Lavinia?
I think she just kind of like is gritting her teeth slightly, but she just says, "So nice of you to join us, Avner."
Okay.
Actually, no.
I'd like to-
I don't even think she's here. Like she's just on the Blue Nixie already, right? She's just waiting for you guys because all you had to do was wait for Avner to get there and then leave, right? So she's not even here. She'd
So
already
he's
be
Probably
on the
like
Blue Nixie.
looking at the boat, like
What's going on? Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What did he say
I-
again? What did he say again?
He said, "Well, I'm here. We can leave now. Would someone please get my horse Thunderstrike?"
Deli would go, "Oh, I'll take." Oh,
I'll take her. And then
and it grabs the horse and starts walking away, like away from the boat.
Excuse me, you, dragon.
I
what?
What are you doing with my horse? Put her on board. The horse looks down at you and like snorts.
I would say no. Probably I do want to roll animal handling.
Sure, yeah.
Just so like to get the
Yeah, you
get
probably
the horse
should.
like me.
15, I don't think is good enough. It's a pretty spoiled horse. Probably as spoiled as its master. I think you start to take it away, and then it just like it's like trying to rip the reins out of your hand, and you're probably not strong enough to keep it, and it
What was the name again?
Thunderstrike.
Come on, Thunderstrike.
And
okay.
one of the servants of
Question,
Avner's
why
like
is
runs over and grabs the reins, like trying to settle her down. And then what were you saying, Jordan?
Why is this guy coming in the first place?
Yeah, his family is funding the expedition. He's basically required to come. In one sense or another, you have to pander to him. You can make him mad if you like. There's plenty of things that you could not take his crap about, but he has to come.
Sorry, I didn't try and click that.
As the captain,
Okay.
I think you should allow him to have 2 companions total. So he can choose to leave the horse or he can choose to leave one of the servants. I think he has a 2 companion limit is what I would say. But I'm not the captain.
So Audrey, you know.
I might say a 2 companion limit, but horses count as 2 people.
So Audrey, the thing is, you know that if the horse comes, you have to free up 10 tons of space to make room for its food and like a place to stable it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's like all our supply of food.
I mean, yeah, you filled up 40 extra tons of space at this point with more supplies. But
We have to cut down to a 75% of what we have. Just get rid of a quarter of our
75%
stuff.
of the extra stuff you got. There were already plenty of supplies for Far Shore. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just
But still,
it is bad. Though.
we would have to get rid of like
You would have to ditch stuff you've already bought. Yes.
and it would take probably a while.
Yes. This would be a major delay.
Maybe, do we have to persuade him? Maybe he might take that better than harsh words.
I would say, Audrey, would you try to persuade him, or should we try to?
It's definitely Audrin's call either way as the captain, like how this goes. So I feel like everyone would at least look to Audrin to deal with this situation, right?
I'm just like, we can't have Thunderstrike on board. That's just asking for bad weather.
Right.
Hold on. I'm doing a little bit of research because I kind of want to tell this guy, look, if we take that horse, it's going to die in a month.
I mean,
But
so
I'm not sure if
it's not impossible to take horses on ships. It's just miserable for them and everyone else. Right? The
Or
horse is
we
just going to
just say,
stink or the ship is going to stink like horse the entire time.
If the horse comes with us, you
Deli
have to change its name to
Yeah,
I can
Rainbow
tell-
Sunshine.
You can take your horse on one condition: change its name.
Well, what if I tell him that he can take the horse, but the horse has to stay in the same living quarters as him because that's the only place that it can be.
So you say that, and I think he says, "Oh, that actually that brings up another thing. Where are my quarters?" And you know that Audrin, this guy's actually supposed to be sleeping in the bunks with everyone else, right? Like only you get an extra room because you're the captain.
Right.
Where
You
are my
can't get
quarters?
mad at me. I have a mat.
My servants have special sheets and pillows that they need to put down.
He like knocks some sense into this guy.
What do you say, Audrin?
I think Audrin has a hard time not okay, so I think Audrin has his arms crossed and he's doing this.
Yeah.
Trying not to laugh.
The tight-lipped smile, yeah.
The tight-lipped smile where he's trying really hard not to laugh. And
Well, pointy
This is-
ear, where am I sleeping?
I'm gonna throw him overboard. He's gonna
I think he's
I'm-
already. What? But okay. What race are the servants?
Humans.
Okay.
What race is he?
Human.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, most of the
Okay.
people in Calabar are either human or tiefling, so.
I just want if it was a genasi, I was gonna be like,
Get out.
Look,
Yeah.
here's the thing. We just have to get him away from Calabar, and then the ship was attacked and he's suddenly gone. Right?
Oh no, we have to make a sacrifice to this Kraken. Let's just Okay, so I think Audrin doesn't say anything. He does this. And then he turns around and walks up, and he doesn't say anything. He just like
Just like follow
does
me.
the thing. Yeah, like the finger.
So he
Come on, come
he
here.
frowns and starts walking up and then says, Barnaby, please bring the horse. None of these peasants are going to do it. And so his servants are trying to like get the horse up on the ramp. But he follows you, Audrin, while they're doing that.
So Audrin leads him down into the bunks, and he goes to the bunk at the very end.
Yeah. He's like, I don't see a door here anywhere. Where's the room?
And Audrin points to the bunk there at the very end next to the wall. That's where you're sleeping.
You must be joking. Mr. Lord Avner Meravanshi does not sleep in a common room with the peasants.
Well, then I guess you should stop considering yourself a lord while you're on this ship.
My
Because
father will have words with you.
he can have as many as he wants. That's the only spot we have for you.
And I think he's like spluttering and whatnot, and I think the priest, Father Fernando, is getting his like bunk ready nearby while this is happening, and he kind of like looks up and he walks over and he's like kind of like quiet, and he's just like, please, brother, there's no need to be angry. All of us must make sacrifices, even the nobles. And Abner just like gives him one look. He's just like, your ear hair looks like there's a tentacle coming out of it. How hideous! And the guy does have like, more than a bit bigger than average ear hair, and so he kind of like puts his hands up to his ears a little bit, and he's just like, "Please, there's no need to get angry with the captain." And then he just says, "Get away from here, Baldy. No one wants to talk to you."
My gosh, I hate
Can we
this guy.
have somebody cast charm person on this guy?
I do
just
have that
Do you
prepared.
like charm person?
I have sleep. Can I just put this guy to sleep?
Like, can you just
Actually,
either charm him or put him to sleep just so we can get rid of the horse real quick and go?
Yeah, let's put him to sleep.
I have charm person.
I think we put him to sleep.
I don't know how many hit points this guy has, though. That's the only thing. But
Not
Not
enough.
many.
Not many.
he's,
If he's a noble, he's
Okay,
squishy.
here's the thing. If this doesn't work, I will just knock him out. Like, I don't care at this point. Audrin doesn't care at this point. He's this close to, like, actually plotting to throw him overboard.
What
were you
was that,
saying?
Alyssa?
I said you should care because he's funding this expedition. But yeah, I mean, okay, hold
He's
on.
just gonna have an accident at sea.
We just gotta get rid of the horse.
No, the horse is not like I will go to a life of thievery to steal all the money that we need for this expedition before I let this guy just get a horse on this ship.
Thunderstrike cannot live with us.
So you can also, at this point, I mean, no one's actually made a roll yet. You can make a roll if you'd like to, Audrin, to just like finally shut this guy down. Just say one last thing and then give him an ultimatum and that's it.
Yeah, I think.
So I think like if after he talks to Father Fernando, and Father Fernando kind of like pales and just like walks off like, oh, you're here. And Avner, he says, well, okay, now that we've gotten that cleared up, I would like to be shown to my room and I would like my horse to be given his proper quarters. And then he just like starts to turn away. Like he's like done with the conversation himself.
Okay. Audrin puts a hand on his shoulder, spins him around, and grabs him by the cuff of his shirt and says, look, either you're in that corner or you're sleeping on top because there's literally no other place for you on this ship.
Make an
That's
intimidation
not how.
check.
That's no. And like Audrin's not done.
Okay.
He's like, if we bring the horse, it's going to get sick and likely die before we get to our destination. If we have you have your own private quarters, we have to throw away the food to make room for it. And that's food that you won't be able to eat and you will starve to death before we get there. Would you rather go on this expedition and starve to death because you brought a horse and because you refuse to live in equal sharing with everybody else? Or would you rather get there and make your new riches and make yourself a name on a place in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?
Persuasion check.
Okay. Now, I would like to advocate that Audrin has seen this before.
Yeah.
While he was with the Crimson Fleet.
Oh yeah.
And he because there was the occasion when the head captain would have to deal with really snooty jerk bad guys.
Yep.
That wanted to get their way. And so he saw a thing or two of how to handle this. So would that count for advantage towards that?
Sure.
Cool.
Dang it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, 12's not going to do it. So the thing is, like, you can do whatever you want, in because it's your ship. But this means that Afner hates you for it, right?
I don't care.
Yeah. So we
hate him.
He's officially listed you as enemy number 1. And will make your life miserable as much as he can the rest of the voyage.
I promise I can be 1,000 times worse. And I think the last thing Audrin says is walking out, and he stops himself as he is walking away, turns around and says, "And this is my good side."
Yeah, so I think you walk out, and I assume you're gonna be like, no horse, like make it go away. Yeah. So the servants.
Do we even have the room for the servants?
Yeah, you do. They were already planned on.
Okay.
The servants were already planned on coming. Yeah.
Okay.
But the servants look at you and are just like, did Lord Miravanshi say that was what he wanted?
Audrin goes up to them and puts his hand on both shoulders and joyfully looks at them. Lord Miravanshi doesn't get everything he wants on this voyage.
And they just say, all right, well, just tell him that you said that.
Oh, he knows.
Yeah,
Audrin just looks.
They just don't want
Audrin looks at them and goes, "I am the captain now."
No, not even now. Like, I am the captain. It's like, and then Audrin leans towards both of them and says, Also, if you guys ever have a problem with him, just let me know. Like, just like trying to say, like, look, basically
I'm on
trying
your
to say,
side.
look,
Yeah.
I'm on your side. I'm going to advocate for you.
Make a charisma save.
And
See how well
charisma
that
save?
first impression goes. Not very well at all. So they just see you as another scary noble dude that they don't want to tick off, and so they're just like, okay, fine, whatever. But they don't see you as friendly to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to like throughout the trip, I'll make sure that they're like taken care of and that they're treated not just fairly, but treated well as if they're actual human beings.
Yeah. So one of them has to run real quick back to like bring the horse back, but as soon as that delay is over, they come back and you guys are ready to rock and roll. And I think probably it's Takui who while this is happening, while the horse is being led back, Takui, you hear so Lyrith goes over to Avner as he's kind of sulking and she says, Lord Maravanchi, I feel like I might have a solution to your little predicament. See, I think that, well, my bunk is just a little bit too big for me. If you wanted to share, then I wouldn't mind.
Ew! No, girlfriend, what are you doing?
You can tell that she has the like, ooh, he's a nobleman eyes on.
God, girlfriend, you can do so much better.
Oh my gosh, do any of us hear this?
Takui does.
Deal with this?
What?
I didn't want to. I'm the captain, and I didn't want to have to deal with the guy. But I mean, you have the power to.
I don't
like,
want to have to tell Lilith why it's a bad
that's-
idea to share a bed with this man. And why it's not appropriate. And why I don't want to be subject. We have to stay in the same room.
You might just warn her of the problems with being pregnant on a ship. Like that might.
Oh God, I don't know what to say. This is so awkward.
Say no. Just say no.
But Takewi's also like a tree person. She knows that we have to suck up to this guy at least a little bit. So he needs to like somebody on this ship.
Yeah.
So I think like Takei, like, can I like look over and like see like what his like initial reaction is to like that?
Kind of just like confusion.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna say, now Lyrith, I don't think that Lord, what was his last name?
Maravanchi.
Lord Maravanchi, he's already adjusting to this. I don't think he wants to share a bed with anybody right now.
Make a persuasion check just to see like you're maneuvering through the conversation.
We've been so bad at these.
There you go. 23.
Takui is good.
Yeah, so I think Avron just says, yes, I need a little bit of time to put my affairs in order, and I thank you for the offer all the same, but I don't tend to consort with the common folk. And then he turns and walks away.
Yeah,
and she kind of just puts a little pouty face on, and she looks at you.
Yeah, and then as soon as they turn away, I'm like, don't you can do so much better than this girl. Okay.
He's rich though.
There's so much more to men than wealth.
Really? I haven't seen it.
I mean, like, okay, look at Teddy and look at Audrin. Like, they're both great guys who are like just, I mean, have you seen them?
She kind of like bites her lip a little bit and looks at Audrin, who's like giving orders to the crew. So, And then we cut away from the scene there.
He may not have riches, but he does have power and is an authority.
Exactly, yeah.
More to men than just wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Power.
Right.
And I'm like, no, not that either. Kindness.
Perfect.
And actually, who you said it was Father Fernando that he.
Yeah.
Okay, so Audrin will go to Father Fernando because he wants to like reassure him and comfort him after that whole thing.
I love your ear hair.
Yeah, he has a little mirror, and he's like trying to get a look at his ear hair.
Like puts on a beanie.
Is he like sitting down or
Yeah,
like is he in his
like on a
bunk,
barrel.
or-
Yeah.
Oh, he's on a bar. Okay, so Audrey just goes up to him and says, and like puts a hand on his shoulder, like comfortingly, and says, "Father Fernando, has anybody else in your entire life told you anything about about ear hair or your eyebrows or anything like that?"
He looks up at you. He's like, honestly, it's probably the most commented on feature of mine. And still, it never stops hurting.
Oh man, this is actually a deep-rooted insecurity. I was hoping that this was just like, do I really sort of thing? And
Audrey offered to sleight of hand using your dagger and trim him up.
would that be a sleight of hand check?
Well, it would be a sleight of hand check to do it. It wouldn't be a sleight of hand check to like offer it.
Right. But
Probably, yeah.
I think Audrey says, Father Fernando, I'm extraordinarily grateful that you're on this ship, and no amount of ear hair or what was the other thing?
Baldness.
Eyebrow puffiness or baldness.
Just
Yeah,
do
this
a
is
comb
baldness.
over with the ear hair.
Yeah. But they, no, and Audrey says, I don't care if you have, what's the cat race called?
Tabaxi?
Oh, tabaxi, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Audrey says, I don't care if you have tabaxi growing out your ears. You're a valuable member of this ship, and he's not on the crew, right? He's
just a passenger.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a valuable member of this ship, and I'm thankful to have you. And if you're really insecure about the ear hair, if you'd like, I can try to trim some of that up. And he like pulls out a dagger and like spins it around.
So immediately when you pull out the dagger, he like jumps and it's like, oh no. There's no need for that. I get nervous with blades near my neck. You must understand.
Then he like nods and puts away. He's like, okay, well, what about and then he like does this, and then the mage hand just appears between his hands. What about something a little more tactile?
He says, no need, child. I am perfectly all right. I do thank you for your kind words and encouragement. The peace of the Lord be with you, and you keep doing your job. You're doing.
Guys, he's hiding drugs in his ears. He's hiding drugs in his ears. That's why he has the hair.
Can I? My question is like, what would it be like if I just did it without him noticing?
Just in his sleep.
I mean, even just right now, I've got a nice sleight of hand.
Just wakes up.
Like,
I mean, it takes a little bit more time than a quick slice to trim your hair.
Just wakes up in the middle of the night to Audrey standing over him with a knife.
This will only take a second, Father.
This will only hurt for a moment.
But yeah.
It's like, oh, it's okay. I have friends on this ship that can cast cure wounds.
Yeah, he just assures you, and he's like, please go on your way.
Okay.
You have things to do. Don't worry about me.
Knife in one hand, gentle repose scroll in the
other. So I think, yeah, I mean, Honor tries to comfort him.
Yeah,
if he can, but
you can make a persuasion check to see how well that goes over.
Okay.
21's not bad. Yeah, I mean, he seems fine, and he seems to have gotten a hold of himself. He's like, oh, that was silly. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
But he's like insisting, like, no, you have captain things to do. Go do them.
Yeah, I go off and do captain things. I also like probably fly over to the other ship right quick and consult Lavinia
on what just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like kind of gives you like a oh no, and she says, well, he should have told me if he wanted to bring his horse. He could have worked something out if he had just let me know in advance. All right, well, I suppose if he's giving you that much trouble, you'll have to be tough on him. But just remember, we'll have to answer to his uncle for him. We'll have to answer to his uncle if he doesn't make it to Far Shore in one piece.
Unless we kill the uncle too.
Okay, hear me out.
Spoken like the true Terra Nullius characters.
Hear me out. We kill him and then res him once we get there.
I'd be like, you were asleep for 3 months. Look at that.
How long does gentle repose last?
2 weeks, but like we have a cleric who can cast it. It's fine.
Why are we keeping this corpse? Just trust us.
Continuously cast gentle repose on his body.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if he does, it's probably not a thing you would do right now, but if he does somehow get killed in like a ship battle or something, that is an option you could take. And just be like, you know what? We're just going to keep his body in stasis for a while. We'll bring him back.
We just like, as he's getting close to, or like we can even like stabilize him. And then after we stabilize him, knock him out, and then cast Gentle Repose again. Or like kill him, cast Gentle Repose, and then later stabilize him and just keep doing that over.
Well, no, because Gentle Repose, they're dead. They just don't decay.
But doesn't that last for...
It lasts for... I just checked. It lasts for 10 days.
Okay, then yeah, we would like... If we were only a month in and something happened...
Gotta cast it 9 times.
Well, does it, I guess, can you cast General Repose and on day 9, can you cast it again?
Yeah.
Probably.
I assume so.
Okay. If that's the case, then we'll be fine.
Yeah. We just got to make sure at least every 10 days someone casts Gentle Repose on him.
Mm-hmm.
We just make it like a daily ritual for people to go in and just to the dead body.
Pay their respects to Avner.
Yeah. And then when we finally revive him, dude, you were so
You were out.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't, you could barely hold down.
I just remembered poking and stabbing and fire.
It's just like, what the heck, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I think we probably just get the pan shot as the ship slides out into the harbor from there. Yeah, I mean, Lavinia during the evening, basically, once you guys are out at sea for the day. Let's actually do this first. Let's do the check here. So, Sea Wyvern. Navigating. Here we go. Okay. So it looks like actually the Blue Nixie's Navigator has a +8 in nature. So I'll have him roll unless there's a situation that comes up where you need Tabby to make the roll, right? So because if you guys get separated or whatever, we can do that then. But for now, we'll just use the higher roll for the daily checks. Basically, the way this is going to work is as long as the African coastline is in sight, it's a DC 10 nature check to pilot the expedition. Missing one piloting check doesn't mean the expedition is lost, but it does increase the next day's check to DC 12. If a second consecutive check is failed, the third day's check rises to DC 13. If 3 checks in a row are failed, the expedition becomes lost. This is immediately obvious, as the coastline should not match that indicated on the sea charts. A DC 16 nature check is enough to get back on course, but each check adds a day to the journey. So that's basically the situation right now. If everything goes well, we shouldn't be too much getting lost, but we'll go ahead and make that first
guidance
roll.
and Bardics.
Yeah, so the Blue Nixie's Navigator goes ahead and makes the first day's navigation no problem. So you spend the day traveling down the coastline. Let me actually go ahead and show you the sea voyage map here of where you're going to be going.
As long as they don't roll a 1 or a 2.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but that's still 90 checks.
It's true, yeah.
Right.
And it's going to get more difficult once you get into the open ocean. So the way this is going to go, Calabar is all the way at the top here, right? This is the African coast on this map here. The first place you're going to stop is Port Gentile, right here. Scuttle Cove right here is the pirate cove base of the Crimson Fleet. It's infamous and no one goes there. You try to stay away from it. So it might be, Port Gentile does a good job of keeping their waters safe from the pirates. But going out of if you get lost around here, that might be bad because then Scuttle Cove pirates might pick you up. But after you get towards that, there's going to be Crimson Fleet stuff all along the coast here. They're pretty prevalent throughout the entire region. But Lavinia knows which ports are friendly and which ones aren't. And so any of the ones that are like under control by pirates or whatever, you guys are going to avoid. Port Gentile should be a safe spot to resupply and do stuff. And then you're going to be stopping at all these rivers. As you go down to refill for fresh water. So that'll happen as you go. And then this ruin right here is called Tagbo, and it is basically a like old Igbaye ruin that Lavinia has promised Git that he can explore when you guys get there, and that was part of his fee for like coming on board to help them. There's something there that he wants to check out when you guys get there. Fort Sao Felipe de Miguela is the second place you're going to be stopping to resupply. And then from there, you'll kind of get to this section of coast and then start going straight west across the Atlantic this way. There's a small kind of uninhabited island you'll pass right here. But then the Isle of Dread is out in the water all the way out here. So it's a total of 3,000 miles about. And you're going to be hugging the coast as long as you can because that's the safer way to do it because you won't get lost. But yeah, that's the situation. The checks will get more difficult once you get onto the open ocean, but for now it should be easy going. But I think the day passes by and just kind of to wrap up, we'll get the evening. So Lavinia sends a message via rowboat or magic or whatever else she has at her disposal. Setting spell or something. Mm-hmm.
Quick question. We had those
sending stones, right?
Yeah. What are we?
Yeah.
What are we doing with the sending stones?
Yeah, might as well give one to someone on the Blue Nixie, right?
Like one, Audrin has one and Lavinia has the other.
Makes sense.
Captains of both ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And then we could just go when we're offshore, have one with whoever's staying.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so Lavinia, I guess, uses her sending stone to contact Audrin and invites you and Avner Miravanchi and the crew and your crew, whoever would like to come. So not like all the passengers of the Sea Wyvern, but your guys' crew and the noble. Over to the Blue Nixie for dinner, for like a special dinner to celebrate the expedition getting underway. So as dusk falls, the two ships close the distance between the two of them, and a line is thrown between the two. A pulley is attached, and a net seat is hoisted, allowing for like safe crossing between the two ships. Obviously, Audrin could just fly if he wanted to, but this is like a comfortable way to just be like, woo, slide, go back and forth between the two ships, have them push you.
So fun.
Yeah,
I love this.
Mm-hmm. So Lavinia is looking very fine this evening. She's dressed in a silk shirt, jewelry, and a dress. She leads you guys into the ship's galley to have a dinner. The Blue Nixie is a little bit bigger than the Sea Wyvern, so there's a bit more space to have like a nice dinner like this.
I did specifically ask Nestor if he would like to accompany me to dinner.
And that's just part of the crew, isn't he?
Yeah,
yes,
so the crew is invited.
But
yes. Nestor, of course, extends his arm and says, "Would you like to take the seat together?" And then someone says, "No, only one person at a time. Don't want it to snap."
Okay.
She's like, "I'll be right behind you. You go ahead and go first."
Wait, can I just jump this distance? How far are the
Probably
ships?
true. Yeah, you as a monk,
or just like crawl across the rope. I don't know.
She's going, while he's going across, you're just jumping at the same rate. So he's zipping and you're.
I don't know. The net seat sounds fun, at least for the first time.
Yeah,
I'll go on the net seat.
Cool. I assume everybody else goes.
Yeah.
I think so. Avner obviously goes. In terms of the crew, I think. Let's see. I think Lyrith is invited too because she's your assistant. Lavinia would extend that invitation. Tavi will go with you, Audrin, if you're going. Nestor's going. And I think Kurgle probably stays behind. He's been kind of quiet the whole time, right? He's not like angry or whatever. He seemed really miffed by Avner's little performance on on the start
Everyone
of the yeah,
was.
exactly. But he doesn't make an effort to like start going towards the net seat or anything like that. But Audrin, if you like want to insist that your whole crew goes, you can poke him if you'd like.
I mean, if they don't want to come, I think Godra makes it clear. If you would rather stay here, that's okay.
Yeah, and Kurgle just nods and says, "No disrespect, but I don't know anyone here yet, so I'll give it a little bit of time. Besides, I want to make sure the Sea Wyvern is kept in good shape. We don't want the entire crew leaving her right at the beginning of the voyage. She'll be lonely."
Yeah, I think Audrin nods, and I think he also says, "Well, I'd certainly like to get to know you over a flagon of ale."
I would like that very much. Just none of this noble wine crap.
Audrin goes, "Don't worry. I think we have, because we ended up getting the ale, right? The cheap ale."
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
so
I'm sure the Lavinia would have stocked with ale anyway.
Will, come up like behind you guys and like pat him on the shoulder because I've met him once, so I'm like, in Takewee's eyes, she's like, "Well, we've already talked once. We have a bit of rapport." And she'll be like, "Don't drink all that ale, okay?" And then she like goes up. So.
I'll save some for you, miss.
Thanks. Gonna need it later.
Yeah. Audrin just like nods and turns away, and like
Takewee probably says this right as Avner's getting on the net seat, right? And he's like, "No, this is very uncomfortable. So, Barnabas, would you give me my pillow?" And the servant scurries over, he puts it under his butt, and he's like, "All right, now you can push me."
I think Audrin goes, "Dragonborn Jesus, is it wrong to ask for the rope to snap?"
And he gets pushed across, and it doesn't snap.
And Audrin looks and he goes, "Okay, have it your way."
I mean, let's see though. Like what kind of spells do we have? Can we make it snap?
You just got shattered.
No, it's gotta be subtle. I don't. You know what?
Mage hand, undo the. Just mage hand, sleight of hand, undo the rope. No.
He falls, hits his head on the way down, then falls in the water and drowns, and we can't get him back. Oh no, he's gone.
Oh man. Okay, so I think I don't know. Part of me wants to not do the flying shoes around the crew too much.
Yeah.
Kind of keep it under wraps.
Sure.
Don't want to be a showboaty.
Oh, I totally want to be.
Don't want to showboat on the boat.
No.
It's so funny for Audrey being such a humble person. He really is a show off.
True.
Is he humble?
I mean,
I think he is.
Some regards,
yeah.
Right.
What?
I mean, he's the dude who like gave Lavinia back her money in secret, right? Like.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing.
You don't need fame.
Yeah, I think Audrin doesn't think much of himself, but it's a rogue thing where he is confident and he intends to be confident and to put off an air of confidence because it is easier to keep people on their toes that way.
Yeah.
Because in like sleight of hand stuff, like it's all easier when you're confident and not nervous about that. So like it's all. I mean, it's kind of an act. It's kind of just something he's built into his personality.
Makes sense. Yeah, so you go over on the net seat as well. A fine spread is laid out on the table, including grouse, peacock, and Italian Azamar wine imported. Basically, I want to give you guys a short opportunity here as we wrap up to, if you guys want to have any conversations with anyone to start off with, if you want to, talk to the Jade Ravens, for example, if, Blue Nixie people who you're not necessarily going to be talking to at all the rest of the voyage. Now would be the time. Otherwise, we can just assume, Anna and Nestor continue flirting and so on and so forth.
Whoa, I never said I was flirting.
You didn't have to say
Wow.
it.
Actually, I do. Okay.
Yeah.
You go ahead. I'm going to message you something.
Sure, yeah, go for it. Yeah, I mean, Lavinia is certainly going to want to talk to you, Audrin, at some point during the evening.
Yeah.
And will have nothing to do with business. It's purely pleasure.
I'm kind of wondering if Deli would have gone. Now that I think about it, because
she doesn't have to.
they're not giving food that because she doesn't really eat meat because she likes animals.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she would have stuck around with the ogre dude because he's the one other guy outside the party she recognizes.
Right. Yeah.
No, she recognizes. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She's kind of curious what happened to the halfling dude.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to ask him?
Yeah, so she'd be sitting there, she'd kind of walk around. She's like,
"Oh, I didn't realize someone else stuck around."
Yeah, I didn't want to see what happened to be lonely.
I mean, it's a boat.
You know how temperamental ships can get. And he's like smirking at you like he knows he's yelling at you. He knows this doesn't make any sense.
Oh, okay. Hey.
no, I would have known by this point. When I've seen him at this point, I kind of realized he was that one guy.
Sure, yeah.
So, what happened to your short friend?
He frowns.
You know, the halfling?
It was a halfling, right?
Yeah.
It was dark. I was like,
yeah.
The halfling? It was dark when we ran into you guys. I wasn't sure.
And his face grows dark when you say it. And he just says, if it's all the same to you, I don't think I want to talk about it.
Oh. Okay. That's...
And you can make a roller of some sort to get him to open up, but
I mean, could I insight to get an idea from his look
sure.
on his
face?
Yeah,
The kind of thing that he's hiding. Yeah.
22.
Yeah, I mean, probably something bad happened to his friend or something.
Mm.
Either maybe they had a falling out, or I don't know, something like that.
But she would just say,
"Well, I'm sorry for your loss, however it may have been."
He looks at you and stares what do you know?
Nothing, but I've seen the face of loss before. I recognize it.
Well, you won't see it for very long. Kind of tries to put a brave face on it.
oh, this is hitting something for Deli. What she would do is she'd go out and plop by the bunk, on the bunk next to him, and
he's probably on the deck. But yeah, there's a crate you can sit on or something.
And she would kind of pop not obviously not pop on because she's still she's taller than usual and she's also fat, so you can't exactly do anything.
I keep forgetting that.
I forgot to. Speed of 15. She'll walk over and say "Look,
I don't know what happened, but I've had to say goodbye to a lot of friends, and it sucks. But as awful as it sounds, you get over it."
If we were playing Burning Whale right now, that'd be an ugly truth test. But
yeah.
yeah, it's not really a persuasion. I'm trying to think.
She's just trying to comfort her in the only way she knows.
Yeah,
how.
make a charisma save.
I'm not good at these. 5.
So yeah, he kind of frowns and he says, "Listen, Deli," as if he's asking you.
Yeah.
"Empty platitudes won't do a lot for either him or me right now. So how about you just keep your mouth shut?"
What about full platitudes?
What about soothing platitudes?
Soothing.
And I think
At that, Deli will just kind of nod her head and walk to the bunks. and she's gonna kind of start. Oh, I know it's been the same day. It's the same day still as
Same day.
before. So she's gonna kind of walk away, kind of messing with the orange in her hand, like no, she can't do it yet, but like just thinking.
Cool. Did you message me, Audrin, or no?
I'm writing.
You're still writing. Okay.
It's all. Yeah. I had to think very precisely. Of how
Okay. Yeah. Take your Anna. Is there anything in particular you were doing during the dinner?
I would probably just like ask the Jade Ravens, like, what have you guys been up to?
Yeah, I think
just like very generally, like
sure, yeah. Tolan, the leader of the party, he's like a human ranger dude. I think at this point he's like a human ranger fighter. So he's starting to focus. I think when you first saw him, he had like a bow strapped over his shoulders, but now he seems to be focusing on his like dual short sword style. Is kind of getting more into martial stuff. And he immediately kind of takes center stage as you go over to them, and he kind of gives you a big kind of smile, and he says, well, I'm certainly happy to share some stories of our adventures if you want to hear them. What was your name again?
I'm Anna.
Nice to meet you, Anna. I'm Tolan Gisborne. Nestor immediately is like frowning at this dude and like giving him a death glare.
And I just kind of am like, yeah, we've met before. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure you didn't forget me. Winks at you.
Okay.
He says, so there we were in Port Harcourt, and we were faced by thieves on all sides. And he just starts
insight check.
Story. Yeah, insight check. Go ahead.
Loading. 22.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like embellishing it crazily, but he's like embellishing a normal amount.
Okay.
Who's she talking to again?
The Jade Ravens main
the leader
guy.
of Jade Ravens. Nestor is like wowed by this story. Apparently, got a crit fail.
I just kind of like near the end go like, wow, that's pretty impressive. We've had some crazy things happen too. I'm sure we'll see some interesting things together this journey.
Yeah, and the dwarf, I think, the dwarf druid, he claps you on the shoulder, or maybe on the arm because he's a dwarf, and he just says, oh, yes, I'm sure that we'll fight side by side, lass. I long to do it.
I just kind of look at his, or Tolan's blades that he has now, and I go like, oh, I've started trying to learn scimitar. Maybe we can fight sometime.
Of course. I'll spar with a beautiful girl any day.
Oh, Tikwi's kind of got it covered.
Will you spar with an ugly girl?
Absolutely not.
I'd just kind of be like, Tikwi has her training covered. I don't think she needs any help.
Implying that she's the only beautiful girl of the two of you?
Yeah, that I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and he's just like staring at you like, I'm not entirely sure what you meant by that. But then Leandra, the gal, she seems bored by this whole thing. She's just like, Tolan, what are you... stop boring the girl.
I kind of am like, I mean, I'm not bored. It was a good story.
Bored. And she turns away and swishes her glass of wine. And
okay, do you have a story you want to share, or do you want me to share a story? Would that be interesting?
I think Doral Adrenick, the dwarf, like nods and says, "Oh, well, it'd only be right for you to share a story with us." But it seems like the rest of them are just like, "Oh no, we don't want to hear a random story from this random person."
I'm just kind of like, "Oh, it's okay. Like we can not do that. I just wasn't sure what the proper thing was to do."
And the dwarf like looks back at his companions, and is like slaps Tolan like.
I mean, it was going to be a short story. Like we fought some things, I died, and then we got back and I was alive again.
Immediately when you say you died, Leandra looks at you closely, and as a reminder, this is the gal who like wears extraordinary amounts of makeup.
Mhm.
She like leans in, she's like, "You died?" Like a husky voice. That's so fascinating. What was it like?
I mean, I don't really remember anything. You're just kind of surrounded by these like crazy zombie things in the middle of Kraken's Cove, and we were trying to get out, and I just got a little caught up in everything, and then I woke up at the monastery.
You mean you don't remember anything from being dead? The cold, sweet embrace of death?
The heck?
She's a necromancer. I'm calling it now.
I'm like, are you like it's like the Raven Queen, your patron or something? Like,
Honestly, she just seems goth.
yeah, I'm just kind of like, no, but I mean, I'd like to think that if I could remember it, I would have been with Dragonborn Jesus and fully knowing all of that, and that would have been pretty awesome. But it probably would have been too much for my like human mind to comprehend. So it's probably good that I don't remember anything.
Yeah, she seems slightly disappointed. She's like, well, if you ever die again and you remember anything, be sure to tell me.
Okay.
Switches her wine glass again, take another drink. And then
Just kind of like, why not?
Zahn, the Chinese elf, has been like, leaning against a ship mainframe sort of thing, like a pillar in the center of the room, and has just been kind of watching. And he kind of does an up nod to Nestor. And he says, "You're he's half elf, right? Is that what he's? Nestor's half elf, right?
He might just be human.
You should know this, Caleb.
He is half elf. No, yeah, he's not a full elf. He's half elf. Well, because remember he was talking to you about the colony of like half elves that he came from.
Oh, yeah.
So Zahn kind of does an up nod to him and says, "You're a half elf. Where do you come from exactly?" And Nestor has been staring at Tolan the whole time, just like looks over, tries to look more friendly, and says, "You probably wouldn't have heard of it. It's a small colony. It's gone now." And Zahn just kind of stares at him for a moment and then says, "All right. I won't pry if you don't want me to." And Nestor just kind of like turns away from him and says, "Anna, it looks like Lavinia wants you to see her over there. Maybe some sort of toast."
I just like kind of look over and I'm like, okay. I kind of like give his arm a little squeeze.
Yeah. And he leads you away, and he wasn't like bluffing or anything. I think Lavinia probably is like trying to gather you guys and the Jade Ravens over. And as soon as you guys all get up, she like clinks her glass and she says, "Friends and crew members and everyone else, I'm so thankful to all of you for making this dream possible. My parents' legacy will live on thanks to the hard work and dedication of everyone in this room and on the Sea Wyvern, of course. And, I just wanted to give a toast to the Jade Ravens and to Audrin's Angels." Is that the official name you decided to go with?
Unfortunately, yeah, it's just kind of stuck.
Audrin just like puts his head, like smashes his head on the table, and he just raises his glass.
I just kind of say, I know it's disappointing. Based on the name, we should have a lot more eyes and a lot more wings.
Everybody's just staring at her like, oh.
Like angels, real angels.
Take like, yes, that is what we've gone with apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. And she says, "Well, without these two groups, none of this would have happened. I would still be in ruin, and, well, who knows what else would have happened without them. A toast. Long life, and," she looks at Audrin, "many adventures." And so, yeah, toast. Everybody drinks.
What are we drinking?
Just wine.
Poison.
I already said imported Azamar wine from Italy.
Oh yeah. I don't.
Very
I
good.
think I'm.
What do we
this
all
is-
Adrian do apparently?
So this will probably be later that happens. So later this evening, probably, Audrin will attempt to sneak back something into Takewi's quarters. We'll get there when we get there, though.
If we're drinking, like,
I was thinking
fine.
maybe onto her person, but
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's just go ahead and do that so we can do it now. Audrin at some point during this Takewi, Audrin tried.
wouldn't that be sleight of hand though?
Don't you have the same roll for it?
No, not even close.
Go ahead and make us a sleight of hand then. Good.
Dang it.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
No, dang it. I wanted to have something interesting happen.
Make a check. Make a check. Make a check.
That's true. You can
You can
technically
crit.
crit.
You can crit.
Go ahead and make a perception.
If I crit,
Hey, you could still crit. You could still crit.
now there's all this pressure. Like, Jordan, like, what the heck, man? You had to have a plus 13. Well,
Nope.
I did roll really well, but not good enough.
So would you like to say exactly what you put on Takewi's person that she'll find later?
Yeah. I'll just. I kind of want to private message it to
Yeah,
her.
go ahead. That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just copy paste it.
I love it.
Yeah, so I think the only other thing that probably needs to happen is I think before the evening is over, Lavinia does come over to you, Audrin, and sits down next to you and then says, "I'm really impressed, actually, Audrin, with the way you've managed to take control of the Sea Wyvern. It seems like you were born to be a captain."
Yeah, so Audrin chuckles a little bit, and he just kind of glances out over at sea. And it's like, I don't know whether I was born to do it, but life seemed to train me for it.
Yeah, and I think actually this is probably at the end of the evening where like the sun is almost completely sunk into the horizon and you guys are probably
Yeah.
on the deck, like just still like drinking wine, but just like looking
Yeah.
out over the ocean.
Yeah.
But she says, whether or not you were destined for it or whatever it was, I think you're the right man for the job.
Audrin nods and says, "Thank you. I just certainly hope I am." And he takes a slight drink and just like he's actually let Lavinia roll a insight check if she wants to see if she can tell this.
Okay. I did actually upgrade Lavinia to also having a character class level. She is a level 1 rogue now. Because, rapier stuff. So
Yeah.
So many rogues.
Yep. Lots of rogues. Audrin
This
is
is a roguelite campaign.
Audrin is spreading rogues as far as the eye can see.
Well, I've got to start my Assassin's Creed.
It's
right?
true. It's true. So she rolled a 16. I don't know if you're trying to hide it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean he's not necessarily trying really hard to hide it, but he's visibly like she can tell that Audrin, like the weight of being a captain and the heaviness of knowing that everybody's lives are in his hands, like that is like she can tell that that's weighing on him a little bit, that the responsibility is weighing on him.
Yeah. So she puts a hand on your hand if you're leaning out over the deck.
Yeah.
And she just says, Audrin, I just want you to know that I'm always here if you need someone to talk to or just someone to be there for you.
Audrin just he shifts a little bit and he pauses for a minute. And he turns to her, looks her in the eyes and says, "How do you do it? How do you
do what?
How do you carry the weight, the gravity, knowing that there's this kind of expectation on you?"
I don't
I mean,
I don't carry it alone, Audrin. I have you and your friends and the Jade Ravens and whoever else I've brought on to help me with this. I couldn't have done it all by myself, but I don't have to bear all the weight by myself. I have people by my side that can help me with it. And I want you to know that you have that too. Not only do you have your crew, but you have me.
See, Audrin's getting slight flashbacks.
Yeah, yep.
He's like, this is not good. Well, last time I had people that I relied on, they all died.
But won't it be so dramatic if something does happen to Lavinia later in the campaign and it would be so good.
Audrin takes an oath to he takes like an oath of abstinence.
It goes over to Anna immediately. How does it? Do you have to take an oath of celibacy to join the Order of St. Cuthbert? No? Dang it.
There's no oath. It's just something we all freely do.
One class in Paladin of not throwing it back.
The oath of keeping it forward.
Well, that's just regular paladins.
Just find like a cursed chastity belt or something that gets slapped on you. Oh no!
Cursed chastity belt.
You can't get it off.
Because regular chastity belts are like like you lock your pants together so you can't be taken off.
I was thinking more like you attach it and then it does something horrible to you.
No, just you can't take it off.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Audrin, do you want to make an insight check? I mean, if you think Audrin wouldn't understand what that waver in her voice meant, then that's fine as well. But
I think it was pretty off.
Yeah, I think it was too. But
well, it's obvious. But here's the thing: Audrin's got a straight 0, he's got a straight 0 to his wisdom modifier. So this is definitely something I feel like he could miss.
Yeah.
So would he miss if he's looking?
$12 on insight. I mean, it's obvious that there's something on her mind, but whether or not it's like, oh yeah, she's deeply in love with me.
Yeah.
You probably would overthink it before you accepted that as the solution, right?
Yeah.
Be like, oh no, I'm just seeing things.
Yeah. I think Audrin's like going through the list of possibilities. And then maybe he's like, oh, maybe this is like way heavier on her than okay, what the last thing she was wavering on
she was like I have people, I don't have to wear this weight alone. I have all these people. Yeah. You also have a bunch of people. You have your crew. Yeah. You have me.
Yeah, and then Audrin's like also thinking at the same time about like, oh man, you know what happened the last time I had a group of people I relied on? They all got massacred.
Yep.
So I think Audrin chokes back his pain and does not show any of that.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's really good at doing that. As we've seen through several roles before. And I think how would he say this? Like, I kind of want to say I'm grateful to call you an ally, but ally doesn't seem like the right word.
It's very impersonal of a word to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's superficial. And like...
Ally's not even friend zoning.
Exactly.
Ally's like country zoning. Like, that's what we call a country.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, that's not the right... because I don't think he would say
in a war we would be on the same side.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm exactly
the base level of community possible.
I am glad that you exist
Exactly.
in this world.
And that you don't want to
On this
actively murder
plane.
me.
I'm glad I have you as my boss.
Yeah, you're a great boss.
You have been the best employer I've ever had.
Granted, my other employer was a thief guild mistress, but
I would say
Yes.
he's also my lover, but you know.
So that's how I feel about dating my boss. I've already set a precedent there.
Yeah, you just Audrey just like pauses for a moment, and she's like, "Did I ever tell you about how I dated my last boss?"
And then she died.
She died.
She got brutally slaughtered.
But I'm hoping this will work
She got
out better.
stabbed in the face.
Yeah.
Stabbed in the face, but it was ordered by her sister. Kind of like how your brother wants to kill you, you know.
Assuming Audrey doesn't say any of this.
I think all these things
honest,
occur in Audrey's mind. It's like,
Audrey, if you want an out, I have a something that can happen to break the mood momentarily. So we don't have to have Audrey
Lavinia
awkward.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Lavinia farts and just ruins everything.
No, I think what happens is we hear Avner loudly laughing. He's obviously roaring drunk. And he's sitting next to Lyrith, and she's like giggling, and they're just like uproariously laughing about some joke that he told or something.
Why did you make my assistant a whore?
I literally put it on your character sheet.
Whoa. No slut shaming here.
All of her like ideals and stuff have pointed.
I wasn't aware that was a class. Which rule book are you going on?
No, it was the background
Just
stuff.
because she wants to seduce men with money doesn't mean we should say she shouldn't. We should just need to let her know that it's bad. But
I'm just glad she's playing
if she
into her
wants
class.
to.
See, I mean, the moment gets broken by that like moment, right? And Lavinia like gives a look back into the galley and just like rolls her eyes and says, "He's already starting to get on my nerves. I'm glad he's on your ship. Sorry."
Audrin puts his hands on the deck and he just kind of like leans over and out and stares angrily into the ocean. Yeah. Not like in a way that's like, I can't believe you, but he's like
trying to calm himself. Yeah.
Well, no, not trying to calm himself. I think he's gonna say something like, oh yeah, I know what he's gonna say. I think he's gonna say, it's still not as bad as what was his name from the guy who betrayed the neighborhood watch?
Stem, which I think he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever caught him.
Yeah, I think. Well, because didn't he like flee to the ship or something too?
He never went with Vanthus. So he was like still part of the Lotus Dragons when you guys took it down. So he just like left, like escaped when you guys tore the thing down and into Calabar somewhere. So
yeah, so I think Audrin goes, like he just says to himself, still better than Stem. Still better than Stem. Still better than Stem.
Yeah, at least Avner hasn't betrayed you to all be massacred. Yeah.
And he doesn't have stand a chance in a fight. I mean, not that Stem really did, but
he's not actually dangerous at all. So at least on the ship, he's not. In Calabar, he probably would have been. Could have got you guys executed for something, but
yeah, not before we got him executed.
But yeah, I think the moment probably even just passes there. And I think we cut to like, kind of denouement, end of the night, sort of everyone saying goodbye to each other and going back over to the ship. Who is the first person to go back?
I mean, I was already there.
The first person to go back on like to the Sea Wyvern from the Blue Nix.
I mean, I would say that I would want to go back because I'd want to show Nestor that if it's allowed, I've created, since I'm sleeping on a mat, a little cozy mat space up in the crow's nest.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So I go back first.
You're part of the crew. Yeah.
What is
So-
Jordan gasping about? I have to know.
Caleb, do you remember that poison that would knock people out?
Yeah. Or the
Sleep
urchin poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have 18 vials of that.
Yeah.
I might be using that a couple times on the voyage
Yeah.
to deal with a
Hey.
certain.
He's drunk right now. He'll probably
Yeah,
sleep easy.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, all we have to do is get him a little bit drunk, and then I slip one of
Dose
these
it with
into one of
urchin
his
poison.
drinks.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing we see as we close out our episode is we see Anna and Nestor go up to the little net. Yeah, Elsa.
Can I make an insight check on what Jordan sent me?
Well, an insight check on
On
why
the letter
he did it?
he sent me.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Real quick.
Ha.
Nope.
5.
I'm just like, wow, Audrin, thanks. That's so nice.
Do you actually approach him about it? Or do you just like shrug your shoulders and it's like,
Give him a nod.
Or maybe, I don't, would it either be ignorance or would she just be like really confused? Like,
Up to you.
this
Either of
is
those
how
make
you
sense.
see this? Like,
Would she have noticed it yet?
it'd be at night. But I'm just saying if we were wrapping things up, I wanted to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Takui would be like Takui's not like any for being a barbarian, she's not a very angry
No,
person.
not at all.
But I think she's like very confused, maybe.
Yeah, we can just leave it there for now. Takewe's confused.
Okay.
Yeah. So we see Anna and Nestor go up to like the
good.
net. Yeah.
That's what I want.
We see
I'd rather everybody to be confused about
right.
their status with Audrin and Audrin's status with everybody else. Like that's like my
Continue to keep them at arm's
genuine
length for as
goal
long
is
as possible.
I mean, I think Deli's kind of like he's Audrin.
Well, I mean, because like even like Audrin's supposed to be like a master of illusions and an escape artist and like and all of that, which is why I wanted the deck of illusions so much.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, be confused. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Cool.
Keep
so
everybody guessing.
Okay, sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
no, yeah. Nestor and Anna get to the net seat, and Nestor graciously lets you go. Ladies first. But unfortunately, this time the rope actually does snap. You go across.
Look, I knew I would be the best person for doing this.
I'm glad that you suggested it.
If something was gonna go wrong.
Or me.
I guess first make a perception check. There's actually a chance you can notice this in advance.
14.
Nope. Not good enough. So Anna, you get on it, and Nestor gives you a push, and you don't notice that the rope has been almost all the way cut through, and your weight is a little bit too much, and
cut through.
Yes, and it snaps. Yeah, you'll probably notice this after you look at the rope after the fact. But it snaps, and you suddenly drop to the water below.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you drop very slowly because there's not even that much distance to cover. So
yeah,
can
I make like a deck save or something?
You plop into the water. I don't think you need to make a save of any sort. Like, to do what exactly?
To like, is there any way is the rope attached in any way for me to like not fall all the way to the water that I could just like climb back up?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
Especially from where you were sitting, there wouldn't have been a good place to grab anything. But you fall into the water, and then go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
No. What?
You're treading water.
Athletics is the only skill I only have a +1 in. Everything else is at least a 3.
Would there have been a commotion when the rope snaps?
I mean, yeah. After I
probably would have just been like, "Oh."
Yeah, exactly. You'll everybody notices that when it happens. But
13.
Okay.
13 is
honestly
not super
really good
great.
For me.
So you're having some trouble just treading water because you're just so surprised by the fact that you just plopped into the water.
Once I get into the water, can I activate my ring of water walking?
Sure, yeah. Just
That's not a thing you activate. That's just a thing that happens.
I mean, either way, if I fall and take damage, I can negate it from
So,
my
yeah,
slow from
you wouldn't take any damage anyway. It's
fall
not
and-
far enough to take damage from this. But I mean, if you have a ring of water walking, I didn't realize that was the case. I think you just land.
I do.
Right? You just land on the water, right?
Yeah.
Land on the top of the water.
I just gently land.
Because what I was going to say is
Yeah.
Deli would have run as quickly as she could at her 15 feet speed and gone to the edge and realized,
Waddle over.
Anna's
Don't
fine.
worry. Hi, everybody. I do a little dance on top of the water.
Yeah, and that would be fine. Except for the fact, except for the fact that coming from the water is a giant, gross-looking thing. Let me find this here. So,
What that guy look like?
I'll drag
Show
you
me
to
that
the-
guy.
Looks like something. It looks like something.
That has a swim speed.
So we'll say this is the actual. That's true. This is the actual deck that you guys would be on. I guess only Deli's on this deck because everybody else is on the blue Nixie.
Yeah.
But Anna, this is just water for all intents and purposes. You're in the water over here.
Okay.
But coming out of the water is this. So it's a big old devil looking thing. And it pops itself out of the water and goes to attack you. And we see Anna's like surprise face, and then we hard cut to end.
I can't be surprised.
Well, fine. Anna's completely ready to punch this thing in the face, and we hard cut to end. Man,
I'm
Anna's
guessing
literally
this
just
thing-
unfazed by all of this.
I'm
Amazing.
guessing this thing isn't a beast.
Is not, sorry.
Look, once
Darn
again,
it.
there was a reason that I volunteered to go because I kind of thought I would be a good person to have this happen to.
Yep.
I can't just go in and drown. My AC is now 17.
Mhm. But yeah, we'll
And I
pick up
can
on
turn into a shark.
it's true. We'll pick up on that next week with Terra Invicta. There you go. That's the season premiere of season 3. I'm excited to continue playing more, but we'll go ahead and call it there, do a quick after show, and be done. We're out. Adios.